you are visiting Can Angels Fly? Welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot. Welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot. Welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. My name is Nancy, and today I'm here to share my findings for the month of April of 2023. But before I begin, I need to set up my live stream. For some reason, I have not figured out how to set my live stream up before I begin. So I have to take the first 5-10 minutes to do that. Amazing. Okay. All I wrote for a title is Disturbing, April 2023. And it has been recommended tags for me to put horror movies 2023. Interesting, interesting, interesting. A rapid trailer. Okay. I'm going to try to take my time setting this up. It's no need to rush because what I notice is that everything is moving slow. Everything's moving extremely slow. I've been spooling and all types of things, so I guess that will help. As soon as it saves, excuse me, I'll begin as soon as it saves. Okay, I think that I'm ready. I think. Okay, start again. Hello, welcome to Can Angels Fly Tarot and more. My name is Nancy, and today I'm here to share my astrological findings for the month of April 2023. The message is disturbing, and even though it's disturbing, it's something. It's not something that you don't already know. All right. Hello. As mentioned, I'm here to share my findings for the month. See, everything is delayed. Ooh. Okay. Hopefully the volume is not too low or too loud. I'd rather it be loud and you be able to turn it down. But I'm going to do a sound check before I begin. I'm freezing. See? How dare they? I'm going to refresh my page. Sound check. What is happening? Sound check. Okay. Turn all the volume all the way up. What is happening? Sound check. Okay. All right. Again, welcome. Hi, George. Hi, Wool Life. How are you doing? Good volume? Okay. There's an extremely strong KPA geometric storm. It's causing interferences with internet. Really? Because I know it's been, that's why I've been like waiting for it to clear up. I didn't know that was the case. A KP8 geomagnetic storm. We live in some strange times, the way I'm seeing it. Real strange. I guess I could do a little TMI before I begin. Let me tell y'all what I did. Y'all ready? I did it again. I ate an edible. This was a gummy edible. And man, oh man, I shouldn't. I learned something about myself. Something about myself. I learned that I have been negatively influenced, negatively impacted. Good to see you. Same here. When I say negatively impacted, I mean I never was a person that was really afraid of much of anything. I don't believe I lived in fear. But after, the sum of my life thus far, I realized I have fear right beneath the surface. And I came to understand that yesterday. In times past, I told y'all I went to a girls' night out and partook in an edible. It was a sweet potato pie. I told y'all I called it my peyote pie. And I went on this horrifying trip. Y'all know I made a video about it and I talked about my experiences. I thought that was an isolated event. Now, the peyote pie was baked by a private chef. A private chef. Not, what do you call it? These, I don't know what they call them, where people go into the facilities to buy cannabis, THC, and all that. This was a private person. So I was like, oh, they just put too much in it, And so yesterday, when I decided to eat this edible with a little gummy thing, I'm like, one little gummy thing looked all innocent. It looked innocent. It wasn't. I ate that gummy and I was high. I'm talking about I was on cloud 99 and half. Plus some. For hours. Now the experience I had yesterday wasn't as bad, nowhere near as bad as the one I had after girls' night out. That was a whole nother level. But what I realized last night, I was like, I have fear just below my surface. And I say it's just below my surface because once I ate the edible, once it kicked in, the fears came right up. I could see they were right below, just right below the surface. They came up. And I'm in my immediate environment, but I'm looking around and my mind is like traveling the world. My mind is like something like Girls Night Out, but it's not as bad, not as extreme, not as international, I'll say, because that trip was deep, it was international, it was broad. This trip I had wasn't as broad. My mind, I don't know, my mind traveled to every corner of like where I live, the location where I live, the city where I live. You know, I live in Detroit, Michigan. But it traveled and it's seeing the people and the spirits. And prior to getting high, in my younger days and things, I always tell y'all I could see spirits on people, in people, around people, including myself. So the experience that I had yesterday was like that on steroids. So I'm feeling the energies like an empath. I'm feeling the energies of the environment. I'm feeling the energy on the people. I'm seeing what they possess with, and I'm just here. I mean, I went out and about, just in the media environment, but my mind was everywhere. I was like, oh my God, and I'm constantly trying to bring my mind in. My kids like, oh mama, I told them, don't y'all eat none of these things. This is too much. It's too strong. And then, oh mama, you just paranoid. I'm not paranoid. Something is going on, and I know that even in my sober mind, something's going on. But I think when I'm sober, I can hold my concerns and my empathness at bay. I can hold it at bay. But now, at this point in time in my life, if I get high, I can't hold it at bay. It takes over. I don't know how to say it. It just takes over. And the energy I saw, I'm going to try to explain it on a broader scale as far as spiritually. to me, I always thought in my life that people, humans, society, the people that create society or people that create humanity, hi George, were pretty decent people. I really believe that. I've dealt with racism in my life. Uh, and I just felt like people like that, or people that hated or killed or still stole, were just a product of their environment, which they are. And I thought that we were all improperly influenced and manipulated into doing the things that we do and have done. And I still believe that's the truth. I think that humanity, the whole of humanity has been, or civilization, has been moved from that Garden of Eden state of innocence and purity and being, humble. I think over however long we've been here, we've been moved from that consciousness. See, when we possessed that particular consciousness, we knew nothing about murder and killing, stealing and destroying. I think there's some outside force, possibly an alien force, extraterrestrial, something that I tell y'all does not depend on this realm for their existence. And we know that because that we have in this way been manipulated to destroy the natural resources that we as humans need to survive. Bottom line. So we know that they do not depend on this realm for their existence. Bottom line. There's no argument. Otherwise, all of humanity, all civilization, I say civilization, from the beginning of time, from the beginning of man, are pure demons. If we gonna destroy our own ecosystem that supports our existence, it's one of the two. Take a pick. Anyway, so I think humanity has been that Garden of Eve effect, that consciousness of not even knowing murder, kill, steal, destroy, all that. And we've been manipulated by some off-world entities into being self-destructive. Presently, we are self-destructive completely across the board. Y'all should see the spirits that I'm seeing moving around. The spirits I see on people. The energy is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying to know that you're sitting right next to a demon that might, what they call, snap at any time. Snap. Like the murder, crime, mystery program, snap at any time. That's who we have become. And it's all due to this manipulation. When I say it's so horrifying, y'all, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting high no more, because every day I walk around, I'm conscious, I'm sober-minded, and I'm always watching. But you get high, you kind of laid back, lackadaisical. I can't be like that out here. We are, I think when I say we, I'm talking about humanity overall, are sick. I'm talking about we are truly sick in our spirit. What they call a stricken spirit. Our spirits are stricken. I even got to this point the other day before getting high. I was thinking about all the advancements in technology that are being announced. Everything from the AI art, the talking Sophia, the artificial talking intelligence, or the philosophical intelligence, whatever it is. And I was like, and I've been noticing this too. It's not just me. I think a lot of the philosophers, of people that have a mind of a philosopher, are coming to this this acknowledgement that it is possible that that evolution that is occurring, which is transhumanism. I think that's what it's called, human to human to artificial intelligence, that transition that's happening, is necessary in order to sustain not the physical vessel, but the consciousness of man, the consciousness that has been not created but um, opened up, or summoned, because man is going to self-destruct. It is so blatantly obvious that man is going to self-destruct. Even if we think, like myself, that we are really good people, the truth of the matter is, I don't think there are many good, humble, righteous people in the world. I don't. And I do think if this evolution does not occur, humanity will destroy itself. And I also believe that the powers that are propagating the progression to get humanity into take that transition of transhumanism are doing so because, remember, they think, and I guess they are, much more intelligent than the average Jane or Joe. Way more intelligent. So they can see the bigger story, our whole existence in a broader scope. And that's why they be like telling us what to do. And they just go ahead and do what they gonna do with their plans without considering us. Because number one, we allow them to manipulate us out of our Garden of Eve effect. And it's taken us all these years, all these centuries, to even begin to comprehend that. To comprehend that. The truth is that we would have fought them tooth and nail if we had realized that this ecosystem is ours and we need it. And so they know our intelligence is limited. Years back, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I did a video and it was strictly about intelligence. It was an astrological message like this one, but it was talking about how the powers perceived humanity. And it talked about how, and YouTube removed that video. I can't find it anywhere. I'm searching for it. This before I got into really long, extended videos of 4, 5, 6 hours. No, there was a time that I was concentrating on the very subject matters, and this is during that period. And what I realized, that period in which I was concentrating on the subject matters as they were unfolded in astrology, all of those videos gone. All of them. And one of the ones that was the last one I did was social engineering. I got 40 views on it, and I never understood that. They erased all of them. They left that one, social engineering, 40 views, and it's just dead in a pile. But social engineering is now one of them trending subjects. You hear it all the time. Anyway, I'm going to stop. Digress. Go back to what I was talking about. So, I forgot what I was talking about because I was about to get to fussing. Let me read some chat. I'm going to remember what I said, was going to say. Let's see. I hope that experience did not scare you. It'll help you connect to the Akashic records. Oh, and that's... George, I'm not afraid, but it's disturbing. What I'm been seeing for some time is really freaking disturbing. And if you look back in my video catalog, I've made different videos talking about it's disturbing, it's getting on my nerves, I can't take no more. And it's all about these moments that the spirit starts seeping through. I'm even to the point where I've been sitting with God talking about, okay, God, we got to watch my psyche now. I'm fragile now. We got to watch this now. This is a bit too much. And my prayer is, don't just show me, show everybody now. Now, in my younger years, you showed me, made me the outcast. Now show everybody. Show everybody. Example of what I'm talking about is this alien thing. Every time I turn around, I'm hearing something about some aliens. I don't want to hear about it. I want to see it. Bring it on. Don't just show me. Show the whole world. Let's see what we really made with. It's just like another thing that's, relevant to this video is every time I turn on this laptop, it's negative. Why is everything always negative? Everything across the board is negative. All I hear about is this store closing, this store closing, this grocery store closing. Everything is closing. That's scary because I am a part of the old paradigm. And I understand how that established structure helped to sustain people, society, humanity. Basically, it's the same structure all over the world. It's just localized. That's the same system that gave us purpose. It gave us hope. Otherwise, without it, we'd be lost. Now, that same structure is a structure that with them powers put in place. And it's gone, y'all. It's gone. So, I'm going to try to explain. I hate to be a negative Nancy. I know my name Nancy, so play on words, pun. I hate to be a negative Nancy. But I don't see our world being stable anymore, especially here in the United States. And it really bothers me to say that, but that's what I feel, and that's what logically, not just my feeling, logically, I am perceiving that the world cannot, or society within the United States, can no longer be, stable. It can't. Why? Because the old established structure has collapsed, or it is collapsing. It's like moving in slow matrix crumble. It's collapsing. They got banks, y'all, shutting down with people's money in the bank. That little sign on the wall in the bank that said your money is insured up to, I think they said it was $250,000. What about the person that had $250,001? Anything with that extra $1 wasn't insured. That's money lost, ain't it? Look at what's going on. It's disturbing. Because if what I am feeling and I am perceiving is true, what others are sensing and perceiving is true about this whole collapse, it's an issue. It's more of an issue because a lot of us don't know it's real. I haven't learned how to put that in words. We don't know it's real. Maybe we don't want to know it's real because it's really disturbing. It's really scary. It's really scary. I'm going to stop here and start with this astrological message because this is what the message is really about. Now, I don't know how nobody else do their astrological research. When I watch others, I see them like kind of go through the month. I don't even know how to do that. I don't think I even have access to that type of astro equipment or whatever it's called, to have it progress and just kind of follow it. I guess the people maybe they follow the moon, in its phases and look around those time periods and things like that, the different transitions. Me, I just lock onto a date, research, find out what's going on, and I'll hit different parts of the month. So I'm not looking for the moon phase or anything like that, or any specific alignments. Unless I hear somebody talk about it here, on YouTube or something, like, this is a significant alignment. I don't go through all that. And I also don't know how other people that, deal in astrology are so um, I guess they can work in the moment, in the second. I can't do that. I literally have to look and look again and keep looking and research and all these references that I tap into. So I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've told y'all I'm self-taught, so maybe that's one of the issues, though. Uh, I don't know. I want to get more proficient, where I can just say, "Hey," right here live, but I can't do that. Anyway, good to see you too, Evelyn. Thank you for dropping by. People do not have control over time and space. They are watching us from their dimension. From their dimension, you may be interested in learning about the machine elves. The machine elves, okay, I'm going to have to look up, that's a YouTube channel. Lolita Carlisle. She says that they are the ones producing the images. Okay, I'm going to check that out. Man, it's something else. Okay, y'all, I'm going to start. I got to go back. Again, thank y'all for coming. I'm going to go back because I did some astrological, I think I did astrological messages. I don't know, I'll barely be here on YouTube now. But I think I did cover some of the messages I got for the year 2023. And so I'm going to start with that message. Yeah, I gave it. I guess it was 3 years since the onset of COVID. Now what? Maybe I talked about it in that video. Okay. I don't know. So I did talk about this particular interpretation of the stars for April 2023. And the summary title was and is The Upholding of Transferred Values. Times past, I've been talking about possibly a fascist organization or a fascist movement that exists and is obscured from the rest of us. That means to say we're interacting with it. We deal with it and the people on a daily basis, but we really don't know what their mission is. They playing a role that's, a part of society and of the world and of the infrastructure and everything, and we don't know truly that they or it institution has a fascist mindset and a fascist mission. Anyway, those people that share in that fascist mindset or nationalist mindset were taught their values like the rest of us. And so April was really about them tapping in, renewing their oath to their beliefs and philosophies and their mission and their shared goal, and upholding the values, those values in everything they do in their life, etc., etc. So I just wanted to point that out. I know I covered that. Now I've dove deeper into April. Again, y'all probably can't see this mess, but I dove deeper. Where did it go? Into April. And so I want to talk about this deeper inspection into the month of April. And so we're going to be referring to this chart over here. I don't know, what is this? My left? Is this my left? I don't know. It's my left, but from the way you see it, might be my right. Oh, excuse me. Incredible. Why it's so dark? Can y'all see me better now? I don't know. Oh, see, I don't want to mess with nothing. It's acting up. Hopefully it's a little more colorful and brighter. You can see me. Okay. At the opening of this video a long time ago, I was saying that the message that I picked up here is disturbing. Now, this disturbing message is something that I'm sure you've heard of over and over again, as I have. Because we've been hearing these messages about these closing banks. We've been hearing these messages about closing stores. I've heard everything from Walmart closing to um, Dollar Tree. I don't know. I'm not Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, something. You know, a lot of closures. And that means a lot of people are being displaced as far as employment. They may seek unemployment, so that means a higher unemployment rate. Just the whole thing, it's insane. And the official news doesn't seem to report on this increased unemployment. I haven't noticed it. I don't watch the news a lot, but in general, I get most of my information from here, from the others, from the people, here on YouTube. And occasionally I run into some official news. Everything seems to be negative. I got to say this right here too. When I sign into my laptop every day, several times a day, one of my, what do you call it? Oh God, I can't think what it's called. One of the search engines that come up for me is MSN. I think it's called MSN or something. When I say everything on that page is negative, it's all bad. Is anybody experiencing this? That everything you hear and see is negative, is bad. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What's going on? Are we that bad of people? Now, I'm not talking about any particular color. I'm talking about humanity overall. Are we that much of horrible people that we can't see all of this evil in the world? And when you see things like that, how can we not correct ourselves or adjust ourselves? I'm just asking, because it is getting really bad. And here's something else that's getting bad, that's really getting on my nerves. I feel like I am being brainwashed. And so I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I got to point this elephant out. Is no matter what platform I'm on, every success in this world is now allotted to Caucasians across the board. The other day I said, well, where are black people at? Where is any other race or culture at? It's like, what's they called? You say you can't be anti-Semitic. Jews have seem like they have carved out a safety zone for themselves, so this doesn't even apply to them. Then it seems like what is being propagated and pushed on every single platform, movies, news, historical accounts, only project or reflect Caucasian people, or Anglo-Saxon, I think it's called, is the appropriate race title, or whatever it's called. As if no other race or culture had any input in the making and building of this world. It never stops. It is constantly ongoing, and it's really irritating to me, because I was born in 1970. So I did exist in a time period when I was young that there was not a role model on TV. I'm old enough to have experienced when there wasn't a role model like me, on TV, a black person on me. If you look at it, say, I lived during that period. So, but when I'm a kid, I ain't thinking about it. I'm happy to watch TV. I love Wonder Woman. I love Elvis Presley. right there, fat kid in front of the TV, loving it all, not understanding, the cultural and the racial stuff. I didn't understand that. I was just liking what I liked. But as I got older and it started being pointed out, I was like, sure enough, there wasn't a representation of me. Then I also lived through the time period where there was a representation of me. The Bill Cosby show and the rest of them like that. So I got to experience that. Loved it. But now I find that I'm back at this place where I don't see a representation of me. I rarely see a black woman in a black man's arms. It's always mixed couples. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what I'm saying is it's like it's purposely being wiped out of our consciousness that there are black couples or Mexican couples or Latino couples, but I'm talking about me and my reflection. I don't see it. Something is taking place, y'all. Seriously, I really believe that it is. Anyway, I got diverted. Probably get back to it another time. But those are the things that's bothering me. As I constantly get bombarded with all this negative, all these negative images of the world. Got me afraid to walk out the door. And then plus what I see people do out in the world. Shooting, stealing, killing. People so egotistical. I got the rant, y'all. So arrogant. That they'll kill you for luxury. Not because they hungry, but for luxury. Because they can't, by themselves, keep up their fronts. They'll kill you for it. And that's where we are. And everybody seems to be okay with that. Especially the younger generation. They are the saddest generation I've ever witnessed. When I say sad, I'm talking about emotionally sad. They are, most of them, an emotionally unhappy generation. Emotionally unhappy generation. And that is dangerous. That is where I see humanity. That's where I see humanity. The youth is so unhappy. I don't think a lot of them have any sense of purpose. Remember, our old, I know I got to do this, y'all. I'm about to stop. But our old paradigm gave people purpose. Even though, it was a lot of negative stuff being fed into that system. I'm going to divert from it. But what I'm saying is even though they got up every morning, 5, 6 o'clock, worked 12, 13 hours a day, and retired 40 years later, they bought a house, put a kid or two through college, they had purpose. And they had some resources, many people, to be able to enjoy life. That's gone. It is gone. What are the young folks going to do? A lot of them not educated. Now, I was a mama that constantly cussed, fussed, pushed, went, did. And I love my children. But not in a competitive world. I don't even think my own children are ready for a competitive world. That's my children and my culture I'm talking about. But I think this phenomena is happening throughout the whole world. That's to say, even other cultures, young folk. It may be happening differently, but it's happening. And I gotta say one more thing, y'all, and then I'm gonna start with this. Yesterday, I said, okay, Nancy, you gotta do your hair. I said, so go to the beauty supply, get you some hair. That's a black woman thing. So I walked and went and got my hair, and I stopped by the liquor store, and I got me a little pint of Cavassier. And so I sipped while I did my hair. So, my little round, my little round was short, brief, and direct. The few people that I did engage in my community were, the store owners and things like that. And I'm not being funny. These people of other nationalities were very rude. It's something lingering. They were rude. Now, these people have been here for years. And yes, they at times have gotten on my nerves. Jesus knows they have. And I smile, I'm cordial, I handle my business, know how to come on out. But when I say yesterday, and I was sober, y'all, completely sober when I set out, they were rude, short, and thought they were slick. And I'm sure that these people do this because a lot of people in my community are, I think, traumatized, and they try to self-medicate. So I'm sure it's a lot of drinking, a lot of weed smoking and stuff. So a lot of people in my community not on top of their game. And I'm sure them not being on top of their game is an irritant to others, I don't know if I'm saying that right. You know how a family member irritates you? Well, imagine them irritating somebody else, And so I think what I was experiencing yesterday with these people I've seen over and over again for years, these store owners, is that they are irritated with people that ain't up on their game. And I guess the climate, the political climate and financial climate and everything got them walking on eggshells, highly irritated, and they're projecting that out onto the people in my community. And then, of course, me, I experienced it yesterday. And all I could say, like, one lady was very rushy, very pushy. That I'm gonna say it like that, not to get too deep. And so, because she was so pushy, I in return slowed down. Not retarded slow down, but just slow down, like I'm thinking, I'm contemplating, I'm not sure, let me look at that again, which I would have been doing anyway, but I was very intentional because I saw her being rushy. I'm talking about rude. I'm like, okay, right? Then I went to the liquor store. The guy was just as rude. I mean, just like cutthroat, rude, rushy, trying to be belittling. And so what I do, slow down and just I'm just trying to conduct my business. I came in there for something in particular. I didn't come in there to be the butt end of your projection. What they call it when somebody throws something out at you. I didn't go in there for that. But I found myself kind of have to play in that game, and I'm a more highly evolved person. I'm not completely off my rocker. I haven't fell off my game. So when the game come, I can play it. I bring it up because a lot of my people can't play it. What is going on? This whole thing is, I don't even know if I'm lying now. Now the dog's going crazy. They not up on the game, especially young people. Young people, and the Bible said that they were going to be disrespectful. And so what I'm seeing is, when I tell y'all what I'm experiencing, is like the potential for is potential for dangerous outcomes, dangerous experiences, life-changing experiences, because we have a generation that is unhappy. Who the fudge is it? A generation that is unhappy and that is disrespectful. Or they're unhappy and they're projecting their unhappiness into the world. Then we got another group of people that feel entitled and short and irritated for having to deal with people they really don't want to deal with, but they want the money. And I'm going to let that go. Y'all, am I still here? My whole board locked down. It started spooling. So if anybody's here, please let me know. Okay, so I'm stopping right here, right now. Who is that? Muhammad?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
You forgot your phone.
At all.
Can I still?
Oh, he done left work? Oh. Yeah, take the cookies with you. I don't want them. I done left my phone. Okay. all of that I was saying, I've been talking about for the last, 50 minutes, is it's not what the video per se is about, but it has to do, it's relative. It's relative, I'll say that. Okay, y'all can hear me. So I shared the previous April 2023 and astrological message, which was about upholding, and whether it transferred values or inherited values. Now, I went back and I looked into April again, um, looking at different dates, and I found a message that was disturbing. So what I want to do is I'm going to look at this chart, and I'm going to try to go fast, y'all, because I know I was running my mouth. Hopefully you can see, what's this thing called? Magnifying glass. So I'm about to hover over it. It tell you what it means. Okay. Where the magnifying glass is right now, where it's hovering over, kind of make that a little smaller. This house here and the alignments here means has a legitimate or lawful interest in. I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, my little brief summary, so that I can tell you what the overall thing is talking about and why it's disturbing. This message in here is something that we're all aware of, because what? We see all these stores closing down, banks, etc. So, but mind you, this is April 2023. We are just in March. We still got a week or two before this alignment even happens. Give or take some time. Why is it? My question is, why is this in the stars? I can't even go forward now. Gotta stop. Because I always tell y'all, I say, hey, this astrology is some type of correspondence. It's a umbrella of correspondence, as well as legal documentation, plans, blueprints, whatever. Here we are with, obviously it's been a plan forever. Who created this encoded system in the stars? I pose that question again. Is it a group of advanced, intelligent people or extraterrestrials? So, no matter if a person believes in the legitimacy of astrology or not, the truth is that it is a encoded message. Somebody had to create the system. They had to give values to 12 houses. They had to give the values to 9 plus planets. They had to give a value to the zodiac signs. And those values, when they are decoded, renders a message. Now, how is it, that what is occurring at this point in time in our matrix, the closing of banks and stores and everything, throwing people in unemployment, increasing the unemployment rate, destabilizing our once established structure to be able to access food, medicine, whatever, give us purpose, it's already here. That's what's disturbing to me. So let's talk about what this message is. What you say back there? Yaltabaoth created it. We are in his realm, gosh, in his matrix. Yep, Yaltabaoth. So you know about Yaltabaoth. I wonder how many people know about Yaltabaoth. I think that's how you pronounce it. I think I did some reading and shared some of the information with it about that entity, this world's God. It is so much. It is so much. This realm has changed to, it's like, how can a person know what is right and what is wrong or correct? What is reality and what is not? It said it would be an age of deception, and here we are. So, okay. I need you to listen closely to the summaries of these houses that apply to these houses. It may not make sense. I'll try to make it make sense later on. This particular first house talks about having a legitimate or a lawful interest in something. This next house talks about business conditions. And let me say this. Some of the things that I will be sharing, I actually got the statements from offline. Sometimes I remember to write the source, and other times I do not. This is all for educational purposes and fun. This is a entertainment channel, so hopefully I don't be cited or sued, because everything is occurring nowadays for using people's words, phrases, and things like that. Um, our honor to whoever wrote whatever that I forgot to mark it. Anywho, so first one is what? A legitimate or lawful interest in something. The next house number 2 is the business conditions, which are determined by various variables such as politics, regulations, economy, and the natural environment. What am I saying? Let me try to clarify this particular house that you see the magnifying glass hovering over. It is the conditions of the business. For what true purpose is this business being conducted? It is either politic based, about regulations, the economy, it affects the economy. I guess I try to make this sense, or the natural environment. The things that have to be taken into consideration when doing business, and the purpose of doing business, different things like that. Okay, so legitimacy, business conditions. 3, assets versus liabilities, or liabilities or losses. I'm not going to assume. Assets is anything owned by a company to provide economic benefits in the future. Okay, that means you're going to get some gain. That's gain. That's where the profit come in at, with the assets and things like this. But the other side of the spectrum on that is the liabilities or the losses. And the liabilities are something that the company is obligated to pay off in the future, or having zero returns, not enough for profit. Now, it's a term that applies to this particular house, and the term, if I can remember how to pronounce it, is repudiation. Repudiation, I think I'll spell it. Repudiation. And repudiation, do I have the definition here? Repudiation is a breach of contract where one party declares their unwillingness to perform their obligation under the contract. So let me stop. Let me go back. Maybe I can't do it all. First house, having a legitimate interest or a legal interest in something, which is that something business, And then here the third house talks about, okay, in business, the person or people that have legitimate interests, business conditions, assets versus liabilities. Number 4, family business, and it describes family business. This is the repudiation, where they refuse to make good on their obligations in the contract. And this here, as you follow in the magnifying glass, talks about your company's gross margin is very important. Okay, this is the house of profitability. The next is the income and profit projection statement. This is the breakout level. This is the financial formulas used. This is this house talks about it. Just read, Nancy. A leader in an industry and an expert in a field. That's what that house means. This talks about the Department of Economics, Business, Economics, and Commerce. What else is that about? Oh, and the new paradigm. And this 12th house is about How can I put this one? It's not just one word. This 12th house talks about it's the house that it acknowledges the relevancy of an industry, acknowledging the relevancy of an industry, and a promise to stabilize that industry once again. So, I'm going to try to talk about this. Hi, Asia. How are you? Fancy Nancy. Now, what's disturbing? How can I say this? This is again, remember early on in this live stream, I was like, I wish I could be proficient like I see so many others when they give their astrological reports. But I'm incapable. And it's probably due to me being self-taught. And so I can't just sit up here and talk about how certain things are aspecting other things and different things like that. Because those aspects are functions. It's like a math problem. They tell you how, the different degrees tell you how everything relates or how it functions. It's a formula. So I don't comprehend or see astrology, I guess, in the same way others do. So I can't do it like that. Do what? Interpret my astrological messages. Anywho, before going into detail, stop prolonging it. The reason why this message over here is so disturbing to me, because it foretells of all of these industries shutting down intentionally. It's already planned. It was already a time period established ahead of time in which they would do an overall analysis of their profit line. It was all about profit. It's all about profit here. And if they didn't fall within the range that they projected that they would be closing down the industry or industries. They also, whoever wrote this out and made this plan and this agreement, said, hey, we know that we are a vital, this is where I'm having a problem, because they are aware it's two sides. Imagine two sides. That is the people that are the leaders in the industry. They got this, they cover that, they make sure, I don't want to go in detail, but we get what we need. The distribution of all the natural resources amongst society, the citizens in society. We make sure they get it. And then it's the other side that records their volunteer work, that record the work they gonna do. It's like, okay, we witnesses, you say that's what you're gonna be responsible for. Okay. And we also, that court, I could say that court also knows that they had a date and time that they would be looking at the overall, again, profit and sales thing, ratio. And if the profit wasn't big enough and in the right range, they were going to close the industry down. And so the courts are aware of that. No problem. Not our courts. This is some higher court or something going on. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to y'all that I need help identifying who these others are. Because we need to go, what do they call it? When you raid a party, we need to go raid this court because something is going on behind closed doors or up on a spaceship or something. All this stuff is agreed to. I'm not making this stuff up. That's what's crazy. I'm not making it up. This is some deep. So it took me days to do this. This is deep, and I hate that it stops here. Like, So they tell the court. So they tell the court knows that this industry or these industries are going to shut down. But these industries also um, acknowledge before the court, their court, that they know that that industry only exists because of them, and that that industry is vital to the sustainment of human life. They know that. See, these are people like gods. Think on God level. I'm using examples of our mediocre world and mediocre life, but this is happening like on a God level, or I say God level because their consciousness is greater than ours. It is broader than ours, and so on that level, saying, "Hey, I know that what we do, the industry that we cover, make sure that humans stay alive. So we know that we got to do what we do. We got to let this industry do what we do. We got to keep it going. But there's going to be this break time we're going to take because we didn't make our projected profit. Because we have to reorganize the industry. We have to reorganize the industry. And we have to bring it up to date. We have to add in the technological advancements that we've made thus far in order to keep going. Because if we don't go, the humans won't eat and they'll die. We know that. So we know that we have to, hurry up and make this transition. The transition being this change in to include the technological advancements we've made in this industry to help facilitate the work, to produce so that we can sell, so that we can make profit. It's all about the profit. We all know that. Again, that which is disturbing to me at this moment is that all of these stores and everything are closing. Banks, we know it. I keep saying it. We keep seeing it over and over again. Everything that happened is bad. The disturbing part is that it's in astrology. It's been there. Before I looked at it the other day. Before I looked at it last month. It's been there for years and years and years. Actually, it has to have been there since the astrological system was set up. How long ago was that? I'm not that proficient in this area that I know just how long astrology has been. However, my mind has been manipulated to think of Galileo when to think of astrology and different things, or the Mayans, or the Egyptians and their pyramids and things like that, aligning with the stars. Is still the same thing, astrology. It is astronomy and it's astrology. Same system. The system used to encode messages for future readings. The time is now. And I have shared here on this channel, it's like it's in astrology, so they know the time is now. Everybody that is a part of this higher field of people consult astrology to be able to keep up with the blueprint, the plan, the agenda, and follow it step by step. Here's another step. This is the time to close it down. So anyway, I want to go into more detail because I hope you can get an appreciation for just how advanced this system is. Astrology is. It's a very advanced system. So I do want to go into more detail. I gave you basically a summary of each house. Now, how long have I been on here? 1 hour. I'm 30 more minutes, y'all, and I'm going to get off here. I'm going to try. Okay. And I'm about to partake in my vices because that's what I do. Do I even have a lighter? I'm about to be upset. What I do with my lighter? I got my Pepsi, coffee, something hot, something cold. I don't have a lighter though. That's not cool. That is not cool at all, y'all. I got to get a lighter. So I'll be right back. Alright. I wonder what happened to my lighter. Oh. Okay. Whew. Y'all with me? All right. I want to talk about the first house where you see the magnifying glass at once again. I'm going in detail so we can just see how advanced this system is. Now, mind you, I've been pondering this chart for, we're going to say 45 days. I've been pondering it. I don't sit here every single second, at least not this time. You know, I look at it, lay down, think, contemplate, ponder, break it up in sections, put it together. Last week, I got it. It came through. See, remember? The first house represents your identity, what's motivating you, inspiring you. It's the face, it's the head, it's initiation, it's the onset, it's the beginning, in the beginning. And it has it's in Cancer, in the beginning, or identity, Cancer. Cancer is representative of the family. Interesting. I just want you to see how sophisticated this system is. So we're talking about height, my identity, family. Then we have MA, which represents Mars, representing energy, force, violence, aggression. It's said that Mars doesn't do well in Cancer. Why? Because it's like a mother and the son, military son come home and he's all aggressive, and you know how mama want to coo on you. So anyway, I'm sharing all these things that a person learns when they learn astrology, and it seems like I think a person can get stuck in what the initial lessons are when it comes to astrology, because this goes deeper. I'm just playing around with the information that is assigned to these various aspects in astrology. Like we have Mars at 9 degrees. Now the 9th degree is, I don't even know, where is that? Cancer. So we got Mars and Cancer again. Okay. So after playing with all that, hopefully you get what I was doing, that the superficial knowledge that a person may learn relative to an astrological aspect is just that, superficial and simple. Because what that house is really saying is talking about family businesses. Family business. Because it is also in relationship to the other houses. Other houses relates. It's relative. But it's on my family businesses. And it took me to go through and read this, just about this whole chart. I probably got to about the 7th house before I comprehended that this first house was talking about business family. First, it's to start off talking about family. Basically, your family, or being motivated by family. That's what it looked like on the surface. But underneath the surface, it's talking about a business family. And now, it's not just talking about a little rinky-dink business family. Now, I'm going to stop here before I go forward. Because I did not, and I'm not going to, pull up, and that would be nice, the resources that I tapped into when I was doing my research. But what I end up Googling, when I realized this was bigger than just a mom and pop family store, you know, that they may hand down to their children or the next generation. No. Did you know family stores, family businesses are even on a corporate level? And there are some family businesses and banks that exist all around the world. So I'm going to focus primarily here in the United States. One of the well-known family businesses or corporations is Walmart. Another is Meyer 50 Acres. I think what I read online day before yesterday said that there are This is just some, a portion of the family businesses that exist, I think just in the United States. There are at least 750 family businesses, corporations in the United States. I just shared two of them that we know well, and that's Myers 50 Acre and Walmart. If you follow the news and the reports, they're talking about closing down different locations of Walmarts. It was known how long ago this was going to happen? It was known long ago that if they didn't meet their projected income profit goal, they were shutting down the industry and implementing the most up-to-date technological advancements in whatever industry that family business is in. We're talking about at least 750. I think it was just in the United States. I think it was in the United States. I'm not sure. Y'all can Google it. What am I saying? I'm saying there are at least, I'm gonna even broaden it because I ain't even sure if it was in the United States or if it was worldwide, but it's over 750 family businesses, corporations, not your mom and pop. Corporations are family businesses too, meaning the family controls the stocks, the interests. Remember, this talks about the interests. Having a legal interest in something, having a legal interest in this industry, this family-owned industry, you know? That's what that first house is saying. Ain't that interesting how deep it goes? Let's see. So I'm going to read, I don't think this is it. Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I have to do another test. And add the CVX side effects-ish is hitting the fan. Oh, yeah. Don't start, Evelyn. I'll be off on something else. Because, oh, here you go, about to act up. It's acting up. I don't even know if I'm lying. This thing is tripping. It's going crazy. Nothing on my keyboard. What is going on? You mentioned the stuff hitting the fan about the vid and the vat. I just left my phone away from home. Where I left it at, a person bought it to me. Just yesterday, when I was high, I'm in this person's company, and I'm so high, I'm silly. And they said some stuff like this. I was going to cuss. I almost didn't make it. He said all of a sudden, just out of nowhere. He said, well, I might have another year. I'm like, this young man younger than me. I'm like, you might have another year. I said, what you mean? He said, I took that vaccine. And I'm high. I was high, y'all, yesterday, so I'm cracking up. Because it's out of nowhere. He said, yep. I don't know what we was talking about, but it's like out of nowhere. He said, I might have another year. What are you talking about? Where are you going? What are you? Yeah, I took that vaccine. I was like, so I'm cracking up. I was like, well, why you take the vaccine? He said, because his boss was leaning in on him. And so I'm cracking up. And then I said, well, why you ain't tell your boss no? He said, because he was leaning on me. Conversation didn't go like that, but something like that. And he said, then, about a month later, he came back. He had to go get the other one. He said, so I guess I got another year. That is so crazy to me that he took a vaccine to make sure he kept his job. And now you don't know if you about to go up out of here or not. Just to have that going on in his mind, and I wouldn't have never thought that he had that going on in his mind. Your man ain't supposed to be thinking about if he gonna go up out of here or not. That's just crazy to me. That was funny. Oh, so anyway, we got this chart over here, and it's talking about having a legal interest and a lawful interest, legal interest or a lawful interest or a legitimate interest in this family business, this corporate family business, like Walmart or Myers. It was quite a few, and also banks. Banks. It was also banks. Um, Let me see. Come on here. Move around. Move around. Let's see. Let's look at how advanced astrology is. Somebody created the system now. We need to start looking for who created the system. Because if they created the system, that means that everybody had to report to that person so that they can log the information. So that it can be read from the moment it was created, even to this point now. Even to this point now. Somebody had to gather this information or prophesy this information. And for it to be timely, absolutely detailed, and correct. So I'm trying to, right now, feed you some of the details, how detailed this gets. So you can see astrology is not something, a field that we should dismiss at all. We need to get into it a little more, I think, deeper. So anyway, remember, this second house talks about business conditions. Now, this business conditions thing, I do need those other sites and sources that I had to make it make sense. But I don't know if I can. I don't want to bring that on because I make real long videos. So anyway, this second house. Let's talk about the stereotypical information you'll find out when you first start studying astrology. You find out the second house is about possessions. It is the house of haves and have-nots. It's what you presume that you need to satisfy or pacify your physical worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. It's food, it's sex, it's love, it's what you love, it's what you like, it's that dope, it's whatever you need. Them cigarettes, because they, make me feel like I'm okay. It's okay. It's your quality of life concerns. And then it's Leo. And Leo talks about the ruler, kingly, being bold, ambitious, courageous, and flamboyant, and being creative and expression. And so, on the surface, it may say you value your self-worth. You value yourself, or your value is that of a king, maybe. Or, let's see... I don't know. See, I can't just sit up here and say those kind of things. But just come up with it. I'm not that proficient. But what it says also, the second house also says this to the first house. Because they relate. Remember, the first house is in the beginning. The onset of. What motivates you, inspiring you, compelling you. And then what you have in support of what's compelling you, or inspiring you, or motivating you, or after the beginning begins, what you have in support of that to help you move forward in your life is your sense of self-worth, your ego, Okay? The second house is in support. Let's see. And it also talk about conditional love. It's conditions to this love that I'll give you. It's conditions to you being able to be a reflection of me. That's, on a mundane level, what that second house talks about. But going underneath, what is it talking about? It's talking about, remember, it's business. It's business. Now, through business is a means in which the powers created to distribute the natural resources throughout society. It's through business, all different types of business industries, that we receive what we need. Whether it's shelter through real estate and different things like that, or food through grocery stores and liquor stores and different things like that. It's through business, through those various type of industries. We might need water, the water company business. And so it talks about business conditions here, the conditions, not the conditions of stereotypical love, uh, or the conditions associated with conditional love. We're talking about the conditions associated with why a business exists and why the business is being done. And in this case, I was only able to identify the true business condition it was referring to through doing what? Looking at the whole chart. But to sum it up, it talked about economics. This is what the whole board really talked about. This board here talks about the gross national product. We talking about economist. This board is for the economist of the world. That's what it is. Ain't that something? Encoded thousands of years ago for a time such as this. A time that many will suffer. Why? Because they're unemployed and they don't have means to make money to buy the things that they presume that they need to pacify their physical, worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. The powers knew this day was coming. This day was planned for. If this is saying, this chart to me is saying, if humanity don't give us enough energy, then we're going to have to shut this system down. There will be casualties of war. We are right with that. Or there will be casualties as a direct result of this transition that's going to happen if they don't give us enough energy. We're going to shut it down. But we know that we got to bring the system back up. But we're going to bring it back up based on our demand, our requirements. I had it written down a different way to try to explain this. Based on, you say, Miss Nancy, at some point, look up Forbidden Knowledge here on YouTube with Billy Carson. He talks about origins of things as far as humanity and surroundings. He has very interesting topics. Okay, I will. Thank you for the reference. Yeah. So, it's disturbing to me. So after looking at this whole chart, I realized the value that the second house is talking about is about valuing the economy, economics. And it's not on the surface level. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. What I'm trying to articulate is that this chart goes truly deep. It points to the gross national gross national product or something, the GNP. It points to the national what? This whole thing, well, we could pull up right now because we remember it's about knowing the language. We talked. I did a video all about language. They did away with that. Anyway, understanding the language, the vocabulary of a particular field. And the field here is about the economy. So this is the field of the economist, I guess, is a word. And so I don't know all the language or all the terminology. Come on, something, get on up. Get on up now. Keep falling down. It's supposed to be cut. I don't know how to cut, but yeah. Stay focused, Nancy. Stop playing the yeah. Okay. I'm going to cut it up. Maybe even out. So, the language of the economist is what we need. We need to be proficient in this field of what? Economics. That's what economics. And so, I'm going to the next house, which is the third house. And remember, the third house is about assets. This is interesting. It's about assets versus liability. When you first look at the chart on a superficial level, it's talking about the third house. The third house is the house of Gemini, the twins. And so it has this aspect of duality. This is what you learn. Basic astrology. It has this aspect of duality, of thoughts, thought processing, cognitive abilities, and correspondent behaviors. I sum it up as being a product of one's environment. The environment includes everything that's in close proximity to you. Siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, people from your neighborhood and or community. It also includes the infrastructure in your immediate environment or in close proximity to you, as well as any industries or businesses, etc., the roads, the byways, everything. It also corresponds with the hands, I think, when it comes to Gemini, the hands, because you use your hands to work. And then it's Virgo. The VI there is Virgo. And Virgo corresponds with the sixth house in astrology. And it talks about your day-to-day routine and all that you have to do to address the demands of life, of man, and of God. Um, in basic astrology, it talks about analyzing. This is the house of analyzing, analytics, archives, recording, detail. It is about being a workaholic or nitpicky, being very particular like an accountant or taking an account of. That's what it is on a superficial level. So we're talking about taking account of the contents of your environment, the influences that happen to a person out of their environment. That's on a superficial level. Let's dive deeper, because somebody thousands of years ago wrote this out so they knew it was going to happen. So that means what? It could have been stopped, right? Okay. So it could have been stopped. I got to keep going. Could have been stopped. The power chose not to stop this, which means they don't care about what? Humanity. Humanity going insane, being stressed out, being homeless, hungry, devastated, and ultimately their monsters, inner monsters and demons coming out on each other and doing what? Destroying each other. Okay. You say, that's brilliant if they don't give us enough energy. They don't give us enough energy. If we do not give them what they want, that profit, our energy, then they're willing to sacrifice whoever needs to be sacrificed so they can upgrade the system and then get back to business as usual. But profit has to be made. The energy has to be collected. If not, it's a breakdown. And it's losses. And it's the loss of what? Human life. Okay. I'm on the third house. So this house, underneath the surface, talks about, remember we're dealing with the economy. This is business. And so now we're dealing with assets and liabilities. When I got to this house, it took a lot. But what I ended up unfolding was this term that I tried to pronounce, reputation. And what this third house is saying is like, okay, the goal in business or the possibilities in business are either you get assets or you get liabilities. And because there have been so many liabilities, so many losses, this is what this one little box is saying. Reputation is the result. I go back to this first house because remember the first house talks about a family business, family corporation, such as Walmart and Myers. So imagine, and we've covered this, we've looked at this before, this board meeting of people. I referred y'all to the series called Dope Sick, where it was one family that ran that whole Oxycontin industry, I think it was, and how they would come around the table and decide about the medicine, decide, make all the decisions about that medicine, oxycodone, I think it was, something. As far as their scientific research, the things they were going to hide, how they were going to promote it, what districts they were going to push the medicine into, how was they going to get it out of there, out into the world, how they were going to introduce it to the doctors, everything. all ran by this one family. Of course, they doing business with other non-family members that work under them because they're a corporation. But the primary decision making, organization, all is within one family, and it's multi-generational. So again, this is what this first house is talking about. All of these details that I'm adding and I may have to come back to add, because that one house is talking about a lot of stuff, especially when you start relating it to other aspects in the chart all over. So imagine we're back in this boardroom with this family, whether it's the Walmart family and they're investors that may be non-members of the family, but they're investing in the Walmart's idea. We know what the Walmart idea look like. The Walmart idea looks like a one-stop shop. You can go buy clothes, so that cover fashion. You can go buy medicine, so that cover pharmaceuticals. You can go buy food, that covers agriculture and all that kind of stuff. That's the Walmart experience. Same thing at Myers, Now, don't forget that there are over 750 family businesses, corporations, I think either worldwide or nationwide, one of the two, as well as there are banks. Same thing. So we got one of these families, I don't know which one because it's 750 plus, or it's all of them, sitting at the table, and saying, hey, at this point in time in the history of humanity, we're analyzing our books. We're analyzing our assets or our returns over whatever period of time, as well as we're looking at, the liabilities, lawsuits, people stealing the products, or people not patronizing them, all these kind of things, the loss of energy. And what they realized is that they were in the negative. This is so deep. I'm going to spend some time here. If you can't stay all the way through, come back, please, and finish watching, because it gets so deep. It really upsets me. It's very disturbing. And so it says, here it says, okay, we suffer reasonable losses. We had a lot of liabilities over whatever time frame they are analyzing. And they said because of that, the word, what did I say? It's called repudiation. Repudiation, remember, let me read the definition of repudiation. I'm assuming it's off of www.dictionary.com or something. I don't know. It's somebody else's words. It ain't mine. Anyway, repudiation is a breach of contract where one party declares their unwillingness to perform their obligation under the contract. Who is breaching a contract? Who is unwilling to move forward with business as it has been or as usual? Well, it's some of those board members, the family members, the shareholders, the investors. Reputation. They're refusing. They're breaching their contract, and they're refusing to move forward with business as usual. Why? Because there has been too many losses. That's what that house talks about. Okay, now we're going to the fourth house. On the surface level, the fourth house corresponds with Cancer. So it talks about home and family. It talks about the early upbringing or the influences upon your inner emotional state. It talks about the support system, your ability to support emotional needs and different things like that. Kind of emotional demands you'll put on a person. The influences that develop that within a person. And then we have Li here, which is Libra. And Libra is the scales. So you think about scales and partnerships and, so that's to say Example, fourth house, your mom put certain things on the scale and it end up creating this in you, and so it talks about the development of the emotional disposition as a direct result of the people we relate to on an intimate level, like our mama, like our grandma, or the influences of our ancestry or the homeland, the influence. That's on the surface level. Let's get deep. Because somebody wrote this thousands of years ago, projecting what would happen today. A day such as this, in which people are losing their jobs, and that means they're losing their security in this world, meaning they can't buy food. They may be seeking new employment, where, as well as unemployment, increased unemployment, the whole economy being destabilized. So what is that? That's where the casualties of war come in at, or the losses come in at. Anywho, still going on about the fourth house, and it starts talking about family relationships. What family are we talking about here? We're talking about a business family, the business family, and I think this is the spot where I was prompt to seek out and find what is a family business on a corporate level. And that's when I found at least 750 family businesses that are on a corporate level, such as Myers and Walmart. And so that's what it covers. And one of the statements that I found when I was researching the clues from this box or this house in relationship to everything else I had already uncovered is that it refers to family businesses as the oldest surviving economic system. The oldest surviving economic system. Before I continue to read, why is that relevant? Because I'm saying thousands of years ago, somebody wrote this plan up. This is the oldest surviving economic system that has a substantial, considerable contribution in the country's gross national product. That's a gross national product, or the GNP. This chart really went into the economics, the whole field and study of economics. Total employment and total exports. And that's just a partial quote. There was so much more. Again, when I say that this chart really goes into the field of economics, I continue to reiterate that because in another video I did that no longer exists, why I don't know, I focused just on, in under an hour, the the tree from the Bible, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And I talked about how I believe that the tree of knowledge of good and evil is actually all of the branches of knowledge. And I remember scrolling and showing all the branches of knowledge on Wikipedia that you can go to school, to universities for, pay them $80,000 to $100,000 to become proficient in at least one area. All of those. Well, one of those fields, one of those branches of knowledge, one of those academic fields is economics. Okay? And so this is talking about the family operated business as being one of the oldest economic system still surviving to this day. And we're talking about how it has a substantial contribution to the whole country's gross national product. That's economic term. Okay. It's part of the language. Going here. I'm going somewhere with all this. Now in the fifth house, on a mundane level, it says fifth house, Scorpio. Fifth house is the house of Leo. Leo's ruled by the sun. So we talking about authority, imposing your will into the world. It's the house of creativity. Is you projecting yourself out into the world and getting a reflection back. That's everything from the people that you choose to be lovers with, to the children that you have, how you express yourself. It's associated with drama and all that. What Scorpio has to do with the emotional response. It's the psyche of a person and how that psyche emerges from the depth and expresses itself into the world. Then we have the K2, this KE, which it talks about, let me try to describe. On a superficial level, when a person learns about astrology, they learn about K2 and Rahu together. Rahu, I think, is the top head of a dragon that was beheaded, or a dragon something was beheaded, and the head is Rahu, which has an insatiable appetite. Could you imagine being a bottomless pit, not having no stomach, no gut, no nothing to fill up to stop you? So that's Rahu. Just no bars hold. You keep going at it. You keep consuming until you achieve. Hopefully you'll achieve the goal. If you don't, But that's what it is. Well, Ketu is on the other side. It's the other extremity. It's the lower half of the body, neck down, has no head. Meaning, an interpretation of that is to say, after you've done everything in pursuit of your worldly desires, you see there's no end. There's no pacification. This question emerges. What is this really about? And it is about finding peace and solace and stillness, not in the material world, but in the physical. I don't know if I explained it right. Anyway, this seeking solace time and peace and spiritual, getting in tune with spirit and not being like materialistic is in the fourth house of what? Taurus. 4th degree, which is Taurus. It's like saying, okay, I done tried all this. I done tried all the dope I could try in the world, and I'm still not happy. I still want some more. It's never ending. I done robbed everybody, sold everything. I done did everything on the sun, and it still is not fulfilling me. I'm ready to be fulfilled. Ketu's talking about being fulfilled now. How do you get fulfilled? Using that example. So that's the surface level kind of understanding of what we're looking at. Did I say? Yeah, I think I said Scorpio. So, now, I talked about this term, repudiation. And I defined repudiation, which is a breach of contract where one party declares their unwillingness to perform their obligation under the contract. Well, right here, is where those others, those family members, those shareholders, those that have an interest in the product of good business, which is, I'm saying that right, but they have an interest, their primary interest is making a profit. And because they didn't make a profit, this aspect right here, this house here, shows when they execute repudiation. They said, nope, no more, not moving forward. We didn't make enough profit. We didn't make enough. So we're refusing to follow through. We're refusing to keep investing our money. How can I say this? Because this is really about economics. Oftentimes, when people invest, I do believe, I'm not an investor, I ain't got those kind of funds. But when they invest like say a lump sum of $1,000. When that $1,000 brings a considerable profit over time, they may just roll that whole amount over and keep investing it. Well, others, I guess, maybe take their initial $1,000 if they make a significant profit, take the $1,000, they don't have a loss, and just keep investing all of their profits. You know, then that keeps that company going. Keep investing. Keep going by what you need to keep the company going. To hire who you need to hire, to do what you need to do, to pay off laws, do whatever you got to do to keep the company going. And so this repudiation talks about when they say, nope, no more. Give me my profits. Give me my money. I'm pulling out. I'm not investing with the current conditions, business conditions of the economic failure that's occurring. You know, we're not getting the energy that we were promised. We were promised something. And so that repudiation, again, is present in this house. And it lets us know that there are members of the family that are unwilling to move forward. Period. They're calling it quits. Okay, that's the best way I can say it. Okay, superficially, 6th house is your day-to-day routine and all that you do. Sagittarius is about philosophy, beliefs, higher education, everything. That's on the superficial level. So let's go underneath and go a little deeper. This 6th house right here talks about, I'm going to read. Again, we're dealing with the economy here. And the language and terminology that goes with the field of economy. I am trying to interpret this, but this is, I guess, economic, what we call it, economic, how can I say this? If this was written in a English language, it would be written up however economists write their stuff up. That's how it would look. So even if it wasn't in this form, it would probably look foreign to us because we're not economists. They have their own language, you know, the way they organize their documents. That's what this would look like. So I'm just trying to interpret it for you. And the reason why I'm going through trying to interpret it for you, because I want you to see how in-depth astrology is. I want you to realize that the encoding system that I'm decoding was implemented thousands of years ago. So who set up and gathered this information, entered it in this book of plans for what was going to happen here on earth? Who did that? You know, were they prophesying and foreseeing? Or were they just sitting with the rest of the, what do they call it? Organization, not an organization, but, what do they call it? Like the UN is United Nations is a forum or something. But I'm not talking about the United Nations. I'm trying to think of a word. But a forum of people, a forum of other highly intelligent entities that lifespan is way longer than ours, wrote this up. So if they knew it was going to happen, if they planned on it happen, they projected it was going to happen, they could have stopped it. They could have veered us in a way that would have kept us from going through these hard times. People losing their job, their homes, their security, not being able to eat, having what they call food insecurities. All here. Something's wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. Plus everything I ranted about in the beginning. That humans have been improperly influenced. They have been manipulated into becoming demons and will execute demon time on each other because of these people, this form of people. I can't think of the word. This conglomerate of people. And I don't think they're people. I think they're extraterrestrial species, more advanced than ourselves. And I think that because they've also misled us to destroy this planet. A planet humanity depends on to live and to strive. Without this self-contained ecosystem, we cease to exist. They don't depend on it. They are the wolves in sheep's clothing. Okay. So back to this chart. 6th house. I'm going to read. See what it says. It says your company's gross margin is a very important measure of its profitability because it looks at your company's major inflows and outflows of money. That's sales or money in, and the cost of goods sold, money out. It is a real measure of profitability because it must be high enough to cover costs and provide for profit. What I just read came somewhere off the internet. I don't know if it was dictionary.com, Wikipedia, you know they're my favorite too, or I just do a Google search and just, because I don't know the language. I don't know the definitions. I don't know what things really, really mean. I thought it did, only to find out I don't. So I always consult the Oracle, Google, God on earth. And that's what I did. So those weren't my words. But what it was talking about was this house that the magnifying glass is hovering over. And it is the house of profitability. Remember, this house is saying, hey, these are the members, the disgruntled members that are executing repudiation. They are breaching their contract. They ain't moving forward. They ain't going to invest their money no more. They saying it's got to be more than this than just doing what we giving our money over or our energy over that we're trying to get from them. We giving it back to make sure they got clothes on their back, shoes on their feet, food to eat, a job to work. It got to be more to what we're doing than that. And that is profit. So these members are saying, sitting around this board table, this forum of people, saying, hey, how profitable is this company really? How profitable is this business if we keep doing business just like we are now? If we keep doing business the same way we've been doing in the previous paradigm, how profitable is it to us? Back here, it was saying they calculated a lot of losses. So when they define the profitability of the company, they're having to define it in the terms of being in the negative. What is it called? In the red or something like that. Losing. It's not making sense. Now, this next house is the 7th house, and this is the financial projection. So remember, we're sitting in this boardroom with this family business corporation like Walmart or Myers with the shareholders and things like that, the investors. And they're consulting. They're talking as they're meeting. Meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds, I say it in other readings and messages. And so here in this 7th house, I'm not going to go into the surface level. Y'all can get that anywhere. I'm going underneath. I'm going underneath to see a more in-depth interpretation of the stars. And this 7th house talks about income and profit projection statement. This is what my mind cannot wrap around nor comprehend. Is that this system, this astrological interpretation, this whole system, the astrological system, was created thousands of years ago. But it can foretell of what's happening today. And thousands of years ago, this message existed. Once the system was set up, it existed. An advanced intelligence created this, as well as many other things, but it created this. So When I sit here today and interpret this chart, this particular house spotlights income and profit projection statement. Let me see what I have written here. Now, financial projection, this house here with the magnifying glass over it, is a tool used to depict a company's financial performance over a future period of time so that they can do what? Determine if there will be profit or not. So, this aspect of the chart, this portion of the chart, talks about the use of, the execution of a projection model. They projected what would be the outcome during this time period as far as profit, or them collecting the energy, level of energy they need. They projected it. They used a projection model to determine it. And based on their findings here in this projection model 1,000 years ago, they realized that it would be so many losses that they would move forward, reputation. They would pull out and refuse to do business. They projected that there were so many losses that it's got to be more to this than just feeding these people, clothing these people, housing these people, and employing these people. So, they set a plan up. I'm almost done, y'all. I've been trying. I'm 2 hours already. Thank you for staying here with me. Thank you for entertaining me. Hopefully, this is making sense to you. Hopefully, it's making sense to why this is disturbing to me. Where the hair at on this side? Go do something. You know, it's disturbing to me. Because again, because this was already encoded in the stars, they had a projection thousands of years ago about today. They don't care anything about humanity or the people that create humanity over the history of humanity, with a primary focus on that. These entities of higher intelligence don't care about us. How do we tap into them? But I guess we can't tap into them because we're not intelligent enough beings. We cannot control ourselves. All that we need to help control ourselves or contain ourselves, we gave over to them. We allowed them to manipulate us out of all the natural resources that allow humans to sustain a life. We're not intelligent, and they know it. And I just remember in past astrological messages that they would say, them beings I'm talking about, whoever they may be, talked about just how stupid we were. It's like, that's a strange message to get. Well, those were strange messages because it came up multiple times down through the years. Like, these are some dumb mother. I mean, the way I had a video where I talked about how just the tone I was getting out the wheel, astrological wheel, astrological chart was like, how can you be so, they were rude. Like, they thought very poorly of humans. We were disgusting to them. And we don't even know that. And I started this video off talking about the energy people giving off in my community, the people that own the stores. Like, I mean, it's the same energy, like being disgusted with somebody, but you gotta deal with them. So it's like these entities are disgusted with us. They have manipulated us, and we have been manipulatable. I don't know if that's a word. We allow them to manipulate us. And they have no respect for us at all. None. But obviously they have an obligation. This is what it talks about, an obligation. Obligation. Anyway, back to this. Now, this this particular house, the 8th house, is 8th house Aquarius. Not talking about the superficial level, going deeper. The 8th house talk about breakout. A breakout level. Again, we're in the field of economy. This is the language that is relevant. There is a language and a vocabulary that's relative just to economy, and that which an economist would use. As I stated, if this were in our 3D worlds, materialized in our 3D world, we still couldn't read it because it would be structured with their language and how they write up their documents. So we still wouldn't be able to read it if you're not, again, an economist. But one of the terms that has to do with economics is the term breakout level. Now, the breakout level, if I understand it, because I'm not an economist, it is a range, a predetermined range. Remember, this was a projection. They use a projection model to determine where we would be as far as the economy at this point in time in the history of humanity. And they found it was going to be a bunch of losses. So they said we ain't moving forward until something is done to upgrade the system to guarantee that we, the powers, get our profit. So here is the breakout level. Predetermined, pre-established range to break out, to execute, what is this? Reputation. Okay. Let me talk about the breakout level as far as the economy, the field of economy. And investing. Remember, we're talking about investors. We got this boardroom, family-owned business corporation with shareholders and what they call it, investors and things. And has a predetermined, they all have it's this predetermined range for them to break out, to stop investing, to stop doing business as usual. Okay? That's the breakout level. So, I guess maybe I described that my stuff glitching. Maybe I already described it where I don't have to go into detail. You get that there is a level, a breakout. Either there's a level, I think, under the bottom, anything below the bottom line of this range is all loss. All loss. In this range is mean you kind of break it even, get out now. It's been a consistent range or time period in which everything has stayed in this same range of you just breaking even. You just breaking even. That's the breakout time. You just breaking even. So it can go one or two ways from here because you just breaking even over a long range of time. Either it can just start declining and drop into loss of profit, no zero return, no energy, meaning now you got to feed, the powers got to feed their own machine for somebody else. Or if it's in this range consistently, it can only go one or two ways. If it don't go down, it can go up. And it could break through and it enter into the profit margin. So we're talking about between the profit and the loss. There is this, you just breaking even. You just breaking even, and what are you doing it for? You know, what are you doing it for? And so that breakout time was shown to exist during this time period. This system of astrology, this encoded system for a person to decode, was set up thousands of years ago. Remember, the Mayans, the Egyptians, and whoever created Stonehenge, all of these astrological tools Mega tools. It was determined then what was going to happen today. This is disturbing. And the powers didn't decide to stop it, but instead kept manipulating mankind to be the worst they could be. So this time comes that they not making a profit, and so it's not beneficial to them. The time is now for them to get the fuck out. Let me stop. I get emotional right then, because if you pay attention, everything, I can't say everything, but there are disturbingly a lot of businesses shutting down, closing locations, closing across the board, filing bankruptcy. It's been going on now for about 5 years or so, even before the pandemic, the thing. It was already going on. Business was shutting down left and right. I ain't gonna jump, because they refer to mom and pop stores too, and how they ran them out of business in the old paradigm. They'll say this is a process. These are steps to something. So, I talk so much I forget. Breakout. I'm gonna let it go because I forgot again. Breakout levels. So anyway, they already had a pre-established level. If they stay within a level in this range, it was a shout out to whoever could read astrology. Get out now. Yeah, and they all getting out. So us, from our general lives, layman's perspective, looking at this world like, oh, it's falling apart. It happened because of the pandemic. It happened because of the vax, the variants, and unemployment. The answer is no. That's what they have dumb people thinking. Because remember, they think we dumb. They already planned it. In times past, I made a video. It was in response to that broomstick challenge, where the broomstick stood up, balanced by itself. And I went into detail about what I thought that was about. And one of the things that I uncovered and exposed, and I didn't hear other people talk about it now. I'm an influencer. They just ain't gonna let me shine. They ain't gonna let me shine. Is that we have, throughout the history of humanity, even to this day, and will continue to be having psychological evaluations, covert psychological evaluations, covert, massive psychological evaluations. So, here we are again. We are still having, whether we know it or not, we are still having mass, a whole bunch of people at one time, psychological evaluations to see where we are psychologically. These powers know they messed us up. They know they did. And in order to stay ahead of the game, they have to know exactly where we are mentally, spiritually, and physically. They're manipulating it, but they got to make sure their tactics are working. And I talked about that. Anywho, I jumped off the chart. I don't know how. But anyway, we got this family-owned business corporation with shareholders and interest holders. They have a legitimate and a lawful interest in the business. And the part of the business that they're concerned about at this time, and it was projected thousands of years ago, would be about the assets and liabilities. They found that during this period, it was already foreseen through the projection model that there would be a lot of losses. And it would not be feasible or of any benefit to them to keep supporting the institutions or infrastructure or business areas or industry areas that they do. For what? For what? It has to be more to it. It has to be more profit. It has to be guaranteed profit. We have to get the energy that we are investing in. We have to get the energy that we were promised. The projection model. No, that wasn't it. Projection model. No. So anyway, we didn't get it during this time period. So we have this breakout level in which we're breaking out. We're not going to invest. We're not going to roll our money back over into the industry. We're not going to do it. We're just going to shut down. They can starve, casualties of war. They can all die, starve, go homeless, whatever. Don't have any clothes or shoes. We know that they're not going to take care of each other because we already socially engineered or psychologically manipulated them into being self-seeking, unhappy, murderous, lying, conniving, and so on and so on and so on. That's what they say. The story is all coming together. It's wonderful. Okay. Anyway, I let go of the drama to move to the ninth house. I'm not going to do it with the superficial level. We're going underneath, under the surface to see what it's talking about. Now, this ninth house is talking about financial formulas. Remember, I said if we were able to see this astrological chart in a 3D model, 3D model, it would look like a document, a financial document. It would be a document and correspondences of the that deal with the economy, and it will be done by a professional, an economist, I think is it. That's what this is. And so the ninth house, where you see the magnifying glass, is about financial formulas. The financial formula that they used. Remember, projection model? Part of this projection model is, or our formulas, financial formulas. Now, the little bit that I learned relative to financial formulas talked about when to pull your profits. And it was saying something like this. I'm going to read my notes. I forget. It was saying something like this. When there is, I think it was saying something like, I don't really remember. I don't want to pull up all the sites and stuff that I use and sources that I use to gather my information. But they were from all the different financial and economic websites and forums and all that kind of stuff, because that's the field of economics. So, but I ain't gonna do that, because y'all know my video will be extended even longer, even though I keep trying to cut them short. I can't. So, no. Let me read what I got. I ain't gonna go, because I see where I'm about to mess up. Yeah, I'm gonna let it go. Anyway, ninth house talks about financial formulas. And the information I have here, these are not my words. This is something I found on Google or YouTube or Wikipedia or one of them financial sites or whatever. It says information or numbers, because we're dealing with money, finances and things, the economy. Information, which is numbers, set in a structure or a formula. The structure is the formula. Predicts outcomes. Income, profit, project, projection. What is it called? Projection. Income, profit, projection statement. Okay. Or model. Okay. So, going into more detail about this. And they're talking about the financial models. Anyway, information set in a structure predicts outcome, the profit promise. Okay, so what we can comprehend or perceive from the chart thus far is that they didn't just say we're going to close the world down in 2023. We're not just gonna close these industries down in 2023. It is dependent upon if there is a reasonable profit margin or return on our investment. However, when they met maybe thousands of years ago, these highly intelligent extraterrestrials, or whatever they are, they said what it seems like, based on the trajectory that humanity is taking and all the manipulation that we're doing, is that we use these formulas, these actual formulas, to get a insight into 2023. And what we found by 2023, we're going to be suffering considerable loss of profit or energy. And it is agreed amongst us, the members, those highly intelligent folks and the shareholders and all that we're not going to continue to move forward at that time. That is, here it goes glitching. Okay. That is our signal that it's time to technologically advance. So, what we're experiencing now has nothing to do. They always hate me because I know I'm deep. Y'all can't have me. Y'all been trying to get me for years, for my whole life. You can give me some more money though. Yes, please. Anyway, what we're experiencing is not a direct result of merely our own works and deeds, humanity's own works and deeds. Again, we've been manipulated into, misbehaving. And it's all for the benefit of this species or these advanced civilization or these highly advanced extraterrestrials that don't really depend on this planet. We were manipulated by them. And they knew it. They knew the possibility. They already knew. And they used formulas. They set amongst each other. And they calculated and bet on us losing. And we losing. Ain't there something? They bet on us losing. They put all their eggs in a basket that humanity would lose. And we losing. Because we don't trust each other. Because we don't know who to listen to. Ain't that something? We willing to die. I guess we do. That's what it's saying. We don't have a chance without them. Now that things are in motion, now that Pandora's box has been opened, now that we have allowed them to manipulate us psychologically, spiritually, and physically, we ain't got no win in the game. The evolution of humanity must take place. It must take place. Transhumanism, even though it doesn't talk about transhumanism, it does a little bit, needs to take place because they manipulated us into destroying this whole realm. Our bodies won't be able to be sustained here anymore. All because we weren't intelligent. Isn't that something? All because it's not even just about intelligence. I remember, like when I first started my channel, when I really started diving in astrology, it talked about that which dwells within each one of us. And that's our ego. Ego fuels racism. Ego fuels self-destructive behavior. It is through our ego that they are manipulating humanity into destroying themselves or being subservient to them and their will. This is interesting. Anyway, I'm going to finish this chart. It's amazing. It's like, I get hyped because the intelligence here is like, damn. I would love, they smart. They are really advanced, whoever these beings are. I hate that they want to hide away. They incognito. Ain't that something? Been incognito for thousands of years. Till they just blended on in to civilization. Blended on into the life that we can't discern who they are, where they are. That's deep. But what I do know, I don't know nobody else. That queen that just died, she was doing business with him. Her family was doing business with him. I don't know who else, but I know that her family was. Anyway, whew. Okay, where I'm at now, I get so preachy and upset. And so anyway, it just talks about how back then, possibly thousands of years ago, they set up this intergalactic group, forum of whatever they are, and they used their advanced formulas to predict where we will be today. They use, could you imagine? See, we don't think like they think. And the Bible say, man can't think like God. You know? God's way of thinking is greater than man's. But let's think. I think we may be gods. We can think like this. Especially if we got the training. Problem is we don't have the training. When you go to school, you take algebra. So they did try to teach us some of their stuff, but some of us, like myself, just didn't get it. You know, why we adding letters together? I didn't get that. You know, geometry. All these things have formulas. You deal with science, natural science, dealing with alchemy and chemistry, all formulas. Language of the gods. Come on, y'all. They, thousands of years ago, whatever, pulled one of their advanced thinking formulas, like Einstein, M=C times square, all that. That's probably a simple one. Because I know when I was in school, some of them formulas got me, because they were like this long. They was this long in science, that long, and I would just get lost. Anyway, the language of the gods. Formulas. Relative to this realm. Astrology talked about the formulas too. That's when I was dealing with the elemental table. Interesting. And I dealt with the secret societies. Makes sense. Anyway. So, anyway, I know I keep going back. My mind just keeps on. So the ninth house just let it be known, it's on the table, it's on the record that they actually use their systems, their formulas to see this projection. So there's no discrepancies later on. We didn't just presume this. We actually fact checked it. We call it fact checking now. We fact checked it. You know. The next house, the 10th house. Not doing the superficial part, going underneath, going in for a little more depth. And it talks about this family business. And which is a corporation, family business / corporation. And all of its shareholders and investors, and how there's an industry that they're over. And this quote is embodied in this information in this 10th house, this alignment. And it says they are a leader in an specific industry and an expert in a field. They're a captain of their industries. And so, one thing I asked Google is about being a captain of an industry. And when I did that, it gave this information. It said that there are 3 types of, I guess, industries was the question I asked. How they're governed. Either they're autocratic, democratic, or liaison fair. And so we also learned from this particular alignment that it is a democratic family business. It's a family business corporation that's democratic. Why? Because we had a family here, a board that comes together to make decisions. It's a democratic thing here. It's no dictator saying this and this is going to happen. No, these are a group of something that set up in a whole group of something, who knows how many, that knew that this was going to occur. That they were willing to throw humanity under the bus. Understand what this chart signifies. Anywho, it's a leader. This family, business, corporation is a leader in their industry. I'm going to leave it alone because it's some more clues to what industry this chart is really referring to. I do believe it's across the board, but I give the example of Walmart and Myers because there are different features within this chart, it's over here, that suggests that the industry caters to pacify Taurus aspects. Try to say that a different way. This industry, this family business, this corporation caters to quality of life. Provide for your quality of life. That's what they do. So Taurus, second house talks about having or having not what you need to pacify yourself, to have a good life, to have a quality of life. And there are quite a few industries, but I want to focus on the aspect of Taurus that talks about balance and beauty and harmony. Well, to truly be happy in the world that we live in now, we need clothes, fashion. Walmart and Myers both has that. Now, 750 plus family-owned family businesses on a corporate level. But Walmart and Myers are two examples I think we all know of. And they cater to Taurus stuff. You one shop stop. You can go get fly, you can go shopping, get some fashion on, shoes, clothes, accessories. They also cater to other Taurus aspects, such as food. Taurus covers food, beverages, water, wine, champagne. Well, guess what? You can go to Walmart or Myers, one-stop shop, and you can go get every type of food you want. You can be vegan, paleolithic, or carnivore. You can go get it. You can have it your way. You can cook it. You can get it pre-cooked. You can go to the bakery. All of those things that you can savor. All those things that you need to sustain your life are there, including water, wine, beverages, beer, all that. This is the industry. Other things that Taurus covers is, it was something else I was looking at. It was clothes, food, quality of life. Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but it was some other things. So it suggests to me, through the evidence offered in this chart, that it's primarily referring to places like the one-stop shops that I described, such as Walmart and Myers. But again, there are also banks that deal with quality of life issues. They hold your money, Taurus's money. It's inheritance and things like that. So it's also banks. And your quality of life is held in these banks. And they only secure up to $250,000 of each member. Okay. But you need that money to pay your bills, to sustain your life, to buy the water, or you might get a loan. You need a car or something like that. So it's also referring to banks. I didn't look because it's 750 different family businesses on a corporate level. But those are just some examples of how they cover the Taurus arena of our lives, the second house arena of our lives, of that which we presume that we need to pacify our physical worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. Anywho, The 10th house is talking about how they're a leader in their industry, a captain of their industry, and that it's a democratic structure, meaning the family sit together and agree on this. That's what I was talking about. They agree on it. Okay, we almost done, y'all. I know I talk. I'm long-winded. Hopefully y'all still riding with me. Let's do the 11th house. The 11th house is the Department of Economics. And I have written here, economics plays a vital role in the development of the economy. We're talking about business, economics, and commerce here. That's what this particular aspect house, the alignments in this house refer to. And it says there are three main factors that drive. Oh yeah, I gotta get into this. There are three main still with this house over here. There are three main factors that drive economic growth. And here are the three main factors. Again, I'm Googling stuff that drive economic growth. It is 1, the accumulation of capital stock. 2, increase in labor inputs such as workers and hours worked, which we know declined by 2020. Definitely. Why? Due to the, what is it called? The vid or the pandemic. Remember, it was a bunch of unemployment. And I'm going to come back to that. Okay. But what am I talking about right now? I'm talking about the three main factors that stimulate economic growth. And we talk about accumulation of capital stock, an increase in labor inputs, such as workers and hours worked. And third is the technological advancements. Now, I got to stop because I need to make something clear here. Remember, possibly thousands of years ago, the way it looked, this moment was already foreseen. And there was a plan set up for this time by these powers or these off-world, highly advanced, intellectually extraterrestrial beings, whoever they are, that have manipulated mankind into being their worst self. We have been led to believe that the vid and the pandemic were was like a sudden disruption to nature. How can I say that? It emerged from somebody's misconduct and it just spread and got out of control. It's the worst cold ever, killing everybody. I don't know how to say it. But this chart here lets us know that the pandemic was a pandemic 1,000 years ago. That which happened in 2020 was a predetermined plan of escape. How do we know that from the chart? Because this house right here, that 11th house, just pointed us to look at that which is a source of economic growth. And in 2020, one of the most common ways to ensure economic growth was, prior to 2020, and definitely a part of the old paradigm, was to increase in labor inputs, such as workers and hours worked. How can I say this? By 2022, early 2022, that completely declined. Workers, people going to work, people stimulating the economy by supporting the economy through the work that they did as well as taking the money that they earned from the work that they did and putting it back in the system to buy the resources that they need, that they would presume will sustain their life or give them a quality of life, a better quality of life. All of that ceased across the board, over the whole world, you know. So, because that happened, because there were a lot less people working, and there were a lot less hours worked, that in itself we know destabilized the economy. But that, which I'm trying to say, all of that was a pre-planned escape route for these powers to stop the system, or because remember reputation. What reputation? Stop it. They're not making no profit. It was projected through the formulas and through the profit financial projection models. It's going to be a bunch of losses. Wasn't going to be no assets. It ain't making no sense. The family ain't making no money. They not getting the energy. Stop it. Stop the whole system. That 2020 situation we went through, the whole thing, the sickness, everything, was planned. We know that. I'm not telling you something we don't know. What is disturbing is that it's in the astrological message for April 2023. But the system itself, the astrology itself, is thousands of years old. It was already known of. Okay? It was known of. It was executed. You know? Those that are over the system don't care about me and you. I mean, that's if you're human. What side am I on? Come on. It's irritating. Maybe if I had to take a break because I'm getting upset. I don't know if y'all know how to get upset. You say, that's brilliant if they don't give us enough energy. You say, right. The ways the animals were chill. Oh, my poor little lip gloss. I guess I gotta get a new one. I done popped it. The way the animals were chill should have told us nothing was really happening illness-wise. The sugar pill experiment the mind creates. You know, I think that that vid was induced walking pneumonia. That's what I think it was. They'll say I don't know. I don't have a medical degree, but from my personal experience, it's like induced walking pneumonia. Yeah, that's some deep stuff. So okay, y'all. Oh, okay. Okay, that was the first thing I wanted to point out, was that the 2020 shared experience that we had was planned. It was planned. I don't know if they knew that that's exactly how they would do it 1,000 years ago, or did they come up with that a little later along the way. We like, we'll figure out how we're gonna do that later. But there has to be a plan there, because if we don't make our profit, we gon' bring the technological advancement. I want to talk about, I hope I remember, but I doubt if I will, how technological advancement is messing up our psyche. It's messing up our psyche. I know, man, Jack. And I don't think I'm a dumb person. I think I'm spiritual. I think I'm grounded. That's what I think. But it's messing up my psyche. And I think these powers knew that an evolutionary jump, a blunt evolutionary jump would be disturbing, mentally and psychologically disturbing to humanity. That makes sense. Did I say that right? And so I think they try not to make blunt or abrupt evolutionary jumps, cause us to have blunt or, again, evolutionary jumps. But because they're suffering so much loss and they're not getting the return that they desire, it's critical for them. It's so critical for them. Y'all, I'm down here on the floor right now. They shooting, and I'm in the D, and it's Friday, and I'm gonna sit down here until I hear some return fire, because that was just in the next block. It's just too much, y'all. So anyway, I'm gonna just keep on. I'll be down here for a minute. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Casey, put it right here. All right here. Okay. So now that was the 11th house, and so I'm about to continue. Hopefully I'm not hollering too loud. I just want y'all to hear me. I'm gonna continue with the 11th house. And so what I was just talking about was the 3 ways to ensure the 3 main factors to drive economic growth. And what I just shared is that in 2020, they made sure that the primary way we do so, which is by the workforce itself, feeding the system, they eliminated that. That was their escape plan. But it's all for the purpose of implementing what? Implementing what? The 3rd way to ensure economic growth, which is number 3, technological advancements. It's time. And I have written here, I don't know if y'all can, where is that? I don't think they shoot no more, but I don't know what they gonna do. Where is that? New paradigm. See that? New paradigm, technological advancement. That's what they're gonna do. Fast, quick, blunt, sudden, evolutionary jump in humanity's face. We can't handle it. It's messing up our psyche. I'm about to try to get off the floor, but I'm scared. I ain't ready to go yet, y'all. These fools is crazy. I'm getting up in this chair in about 2 seconds. These motherfuckers is crazy. The only answer is violence. That's we are beast. We are beast to them. I understand. The hell, don't hold me accountable for the motherfucker. I made it. I didn't do it. Okay. Oh. Is that it? I'm giving you one of my sources that I went to find out about the 750 biggest family businesses. I don't know, again, in the world or nationally, I think it's in the world. It's famcap.com. FAMCAP.com. And it talks about the world's 750 biggest family businesses. And if you keep searching, you find out it's banks too. Okay. So, hi, how are you? Wow, you are a news reporter, dedicated, blessed. Thank you. I mean, I get into it and I become one with it. I get so upset when I consult the stars and I don't get serious feedback. If I can't find it, I get really upset. Oh my God, I can't even function. I have a headache and all kind of stuff. I be stressed out. But that moment, oh Lord Jesus, hallelujah. That moment that it materializes is awesome. I'm telling you, it's a whole different level. It's euphoria. Like, wow. And that was right there. It's been there my whole life. But I was manipulated into foolishness. But it was there my whole life. It's beautiful. And I hate that these entities, whoever they are, think so poorly of humanity. Because I know, since I am 40% water in my chart, Pisces, Scorpio, with a Virgo moon and rise, it ain't that bad, is it? Can't nothing be worse than what I got. Ain't nothing worse. Okay, that works. Uh, at least you're not alone. You're not alone. I ain't alone. It's all screwed up. Um, but I've been manipulated. Well, I was saying I've been manipulated in my life for foolishness and shenanigans. And again, I tell y'all, I watched fate walk in and do what the hell it wanted to do. Didn't take me into consideration at all. I talk about being gang stalked and all of that. And now, just because of astrology, I'm going to say just because of astrology, is that why so many crazy things happened in my life? That these powers knew that I have potential. I think they know who have potential. I think they know who they want to invest in. I've even talked about this here on my channel. One of the methods that they use to decide who they're going to grant their knowledge to is based on a person that can go through the educational system. If you fall off, you just discard it as nothing. And people in China know that. That I talk about when I went to the university and interacted. Some of my friends were Chinese, other people, of different nationalities, but it was really the Chinese women that were very, very aware that they would be cast as nothing, valueless, having no value if they did not achieve, and that's not. I don't think it was a mindset of my peers, young black people, and to see how far my people are, back because they're not aware, and that's one. I could talk about some things. I'm about to say some stuff that's racial. I hope don't nobody get offended, but this is what I'm comprehending. Is that when it comes to black people, and I mean black American people, I don't know about African people, but just black people in the United States, the ego is our major downfall. Very arrogant people, and a lot of people have an ego that is displaced, meaning they don't possess anything that really opposes the ego. It's all raw arrogance that they haven't earned. White people, and I'm talking about white people in the United States. This is my perspective. If somebody's insulted, sorry about it. This is what I'm perceiving. Thinking deeply, because there has to be an answer to all of this that's happening. And some things we need to get a handle on, I think, in order to be able to deal with what's the really big issue, which is this outside extraterrestrial, whatever it is, influence. So when it comes to white people, we also refuse new solutions. And refusing new solutions, it's the ego that gets in the way. It's always the ego. Now, we all have this ego that can be manipulated. But when it comes to white people, you think about the cliches attached to certain races. White people, one of the cliches that follow that race is that they will go, they're adventurous. They will go, what they say, if the house haunted, they're going to go in the house. Why the house haunted? And they're going to go open every closet, do everything, try to talk to the ghost. So they're adventurous. So, they ego, they like Icarus. We all Icarus, that's the ego thing. But Icarus, they don't stop. They push the limits. They push the limits. And because they push the limits and go to the extremes in order to discover basically what's hidden from them was with some intelligence. Now, some of them just, oh my God, some dumb. They, again, are putting a tag or a stake into all of these discoveries because they do have this adventurous nature. And how can I say, but is these character traits that each our different races possess that are also destroying us and destroying our relations. I'm talking about humanity overall, within a race as well as crossing, or just humanity, crossing races or humanity. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Every time I try to talk about racial things, I don't know how to really put it out there to share what I'm perceiving. But I do know that these are bound limits or obstacles that are in our way, and it's not allowing us to heal. And again, Caucasians or white people, they're so adventurous to they glorify themselves. Again, it's ego based. Glorify themselves as like they feel like they're the originators of the planet, and it goes on from every single race. And I'm bringing that up for a reason, and the reason is that because of our character, our characters, our character traits that we refuse to check, acknowledge and check and correct, it keeps us humans, because it's another species now, or another entity or something, extraterrestrial, whatever it is. It keeps us at odds. And so we never can get serious about the real threat on our planet. Real threat on our planet is something bigger than race, is what I'm saying. Something bigger than race. And it's going to, the time is coming and it's quickly approaching. I do believe that it's going to be too late for us to correct the problem. It's already on the brink of it. I still think if we woke up tomorrow and like really could see, all of us could see how we've been manipulated. We see our counterproductive traits as a race or a nationality, and we corrected them. And we would turn to see that we don't have anything that we need to sustain ourselves, humanity. We don't have food. We gave that over. Old paradigm, a couple of paradigms ago. We gave all the natural resources over. Last paradigm. And we don't have anything. And then we could seek out who these real culprits are so that we can go retrieve our stuff that we need, so that we can replant and reharvest the earth and, nurture it back to health. That's the only thing I think can save us. If we can't do that, if we cannot become our righteous selves, our bigger self, we can look at it religiously. It don't matter to me. It don't matter. If we don't become righteous and humble and loving of each other, humans, I don't care what color you are, you, man. I don't, yellow, brown, black, pink, purple, white, I don't care. We don't get it together. There's no choice but for transhumanism to happen in order to sustain, because it's about keeping this ram going so they can harvest their energy. Is that not interesting to y'all? I know when y'all listen to me or any other person that creates and you hear us use the same terminology such as harvesting energy and gang stalking or any other terms you've heard, to understand that it really applies to something for real. And I say that because I don't think we know overall. When I say we, I'm talking about us, society, people on these platforms that witness people saying these type of statements. Again, are aware that it literally comes from somewhere real. Some people that, well, I'll say, the people that probably initially made such statements, like harvesting energy and stuff, knew what they was talking about. I remember not too long ago, astrologers talking about whistleblowers and stuff. They was the whistleblowers. So, we get stuck when we hear terms whistleblower. Oh, they work for this corporation and whistleblow. But what if a person was a part of that species? Whistleblow, Is that what whistleblower they was talking about? Somebody that really knew that energy harvesting has been going on? I even decoded some things in the Bible that talked about harvesting organs, harvesting energy for another species. Same thing. But when I share it, either it may seem like, it may appear to you, you may comprehend that I am just regurgitating somebody else's words. It's a statement, it's a thing, but it don't belong to nothing. But in actuality, all of these terms and statements mean something. They are connected to something. Some people that use them don't know where they come from. They just regurgitate them. They are. But there are some people that share these statements or reverberate, I don't know, recite these statements, such as harvesting energy. That's just one example of many of the statements we hear now. And they know exactly where it comes from. It's very hard to articulate such dynamics. That's some difficult stuff. I'm not even a speaker. My mouth sound like it's full of slush. I'm laying all on the floor because of gunshots. I'm not an expert in no field. But I can tell you this. The terms that I use, whether it's from biblical references or whatever, they real and they come from somewhere. I even did a live where I talked about, I was reading the Bible and I was decoding the Bible. And in it, I didn't know what I was going to find. I was just diving deep. I said, I'm not going to stay on the surface level no more. I'm going to dive deep. Hours, days, months. It's been years now. Constantly digging and chipping away. And what I found blew my mind, because I told y'all I was in the church for a while. And it said that the God of this world, you talked about Yaltabaoth, something I learned in the last few years. Who's Yaltabaoth, or wherever how you pronounce it. But the God of this world, not the Christian God that I was introduced to, I don't think that's the same one. Not from the Bible to the Apocryphon. See, it seemed two different gods. Anywho, I don't know which book I was reading, because I just picked up a book and started digging deep, because I already read it from beginning to end multiple times. Went to church, school, Sunday school, all that. But I read it that day. Now, a few years back, wasn't that long ago, a few years back, maybe 5, 6 years. And I was digging and digging. And it was said the God of this world basically have minions. And he called those minions to meet with them. And he gave them each an assignment. This is in a King James Version Bible. You can choose whatever translation you want. What video was that? I have to think which video that was. Forgive us, God. I think, for we knew not. Forgive us, God, for we knew not. I think that's what I did. And he told each one of them, gave each one of them their assignment. And their assignments were like this. We've heard it before. Said, you go into this world amongst this human species, and you have to tell them about me, about y'all, and about our plans. We often hear that the powers have to tell us about their plan. They do so through entertainment and programming, TV, and different things like that. That's what it said in that book. And it talked about the different sectors that this God sent his minions out into in order to form humanity. What was going to take place every step of the way. It come from somewhere. Messing around messing around with this astrology. That's to say the same thing. I'm going to tell them. We're going to tell them. Because there's going to be no deniability. Said, tell them how I go. This is the energy I got when I was reading the stars. Tell them who I am, or tell them the truth about me. And I was saying, ha, ha, ha. That's how I was like, ha, ha, ha. They can't say I didn't tell them. Can't say we didn't tell them along the way. No deniability. When you're called into account, or you are judged, these things that we hear, judgment. We're called into account, judgment, when the apocalypse happens, when Armageddon happens. they can't say they didn't know. They knew all the way. Here is the evidence right here. I mean, I guess it's hard to believe. If I was on the other side of the screen, I'd be like, shit crazy. You say I died when I was 19 in a coma on a ventilator for 3 days and fully crossed over. I met the being that I believe is God while I was there. Wow, now that's amazing. You got a channel? Put it on the channel. I would definitely watch all of that. Tell the whole story. Oh, tell the whole story. I'm bringing, thank you. Most people's brains can't comprehend it. And most people's brains can't comprehend it. It's stuck. I see and witness people stuck. And I'm thankful I'm not stuck on a low level. I'm stuck. I realized that the other day, that I can't expand my consciousness. And I came to that understanding when I ate that edible. That was just yesterday. And I realized that underneath was fear. Right up under the surface. I can go out and I can function. I can do whatever every day. But if that level was gone, I would be engulfed in fear of this world. And I was like, it is that fear that keeps me from elevating. I know it is. I know it is. Because I sit here and I try to meditate every day. Years. I told y'all I meditate. I meditate every day. I attempt to meditate every day. Y'all might even see me here on here. Sometimes I just stop. If I ever achieve it, I've been there in meditation where I'm gone. Just like when I'm doing astrology, I hit that the critical mass, I'm gone. And so I've hit it. I haven't been hitting that space. I end up falling asleep trying to meditate, but I'm never getting there now. But every now and then, even while I'm here, I'm live, I just stop and breathe. And if I was to reach that plane on here, I'll probably just stop and be there. Y'all probably be like, oh Lord, she done had a seizure, she gone. Because I don't know when it's going to happen. If it will ever happen. But I want to transcend the fear. Fear will be our downfall. And fear, and that's another thing. Remember, we socially engineered. We've been manipulated. Fear. And I did a video on fear. And some kept saying, do fear, do fear, do fear. A couple of years ago. And I didn't. And then I did a half-assed one a little later after I was supposed to. And I didn't go into depth. But fear is our downfall because fear, what they say, you get struck with fear and you won't move, you won't react, you can't think clearly. And so there's people always say you're supposed to stay calm, especially in combat. You're supposed to stay calm and in control of your faculties, always watching your surroundings. You know, those kind of things. Anywho, he said, I believe once we get it, it's our job to help others get it if they are seeking clarity. I believe that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. But things are happening so quickly now because remember they're pressing forward with inducing the technological advancements into the industries that address our quality of life concerns. And so the advancements are far exceeding our comprehension and our intellect. And I know that. And that's what I say. The fear is, I can feel the vibration. I don't know how to explain it. And so there are people in the world that intellect and comprehension are capped. And again, astrology years ago talked about it. That's another video YouTube got rid of. It's capped. And when I experience or interact with a person with the capped intellect or comprehension, it's heart-wrenching to me because I'm like, we ain't got no win. We don't have no win. We don't have no win. We don't have no win. To be stuck and fixated on the past. To be stuck and fixated on Again, I bring up racism because stuff there is generational. It's consuming people's consciousness, and you can't think no bigger. You cannot think any bigger. That's some deep stuff, and I don't know what I can say, what contribution I could make to awaken people, because again, there's potential for damage to the psyche because of the rapid transition into humanism, with transhumanism, or the introduction of the level where of what technology at. Humanity is not on that same level. It's going to cause a lot of psychological damage. And I see that. And I know it even from myself, because I have to keep myself in check. Got to keep going line. I got to keep going back to the basics of nature and then bringing it up. I have to explain to myself, why this is how I live every day. I'm crazy. I know that. People refuse to wake up, or maybe they can't, because it's just that complex. It's just that intense. It's just that intense. That's scary, though. That is real scary to me. And I'm not being funny. I know I may translate over this computer to seem arrogant. Black folk got big egos. Arrogant. And in some ways, I am. I'm very thankful. I told y'all, I hate to sound contradictory. I haven't had a bad life. I've had some BS stuff. But I'm thankful. I'm thankful for my family and them contributing. I'm thankful for every teacher I had. I'm thankful that however I'm made, that I'm open to learn. I'm happy for that. Do I know everything? No. But some of the things I know something. It might not be 100% correct, but I know something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm willing to listen. I'm watching. And I say all that because I'm not the crispiest cookie in a jar. That's scary. I should be the bottom level. An example, post-trial, of the bottom level of intelligence a human should have. We shouldn't go lower than me. We should not go lower than me. I told y'all I was special ed. I told y'all even in college I had the tutors and what they call that, special ed in college. I ain't no special ed. Now nobody should be lower than me. I told you when I was taking them computer classes and programming, I didn't know what programming was. I didn't know what I was doing. I was typing the codes in, typing the commands in to build a little square, my little square collapse in. Nobody should have a lower intelligence than me unless you got a true medical condition. Something wrong. Something wrong. That's humble. We need more of that. People are disoriented from being tortured. And they are disoriented. That's what I'm saying. The disorientation is going to continue as long as we are, what you say, tormented by narcissists. The narcissists being egomaniacs, racists, or whatever else you could think. Gaslit. The distortion is going to continue. And as long as that distortion continues, Yanni, we don't have no win against this species. And I foresee, I'm saying I foresee like their future plan, the future game for humanity. Remember, we're two separate species. Can y'all grasp being a whole unique species? A human, what we call human, or Homo sapiens at this point in time. Our ability to procreate, to survive different climates and elements, the intelligence that we have, the base raw instincts we have. We are a unique in all the different colors. How can you hate somebody for their color? And the colors are beautiful. I don't comprehend that, because the colors are so beautiful. It's some ugly black people, and it's some ugly white people, and it's some ugly Chinese people, it's some ugly Jewish. They ugly in the face. And then there's also some very beautiful people of all colors. So I don't get it. And I mean, just how, we're talking about the human species. I don't know if we Homo sapiens or Homo sapiens at this time. It's one or two. Been out of school a long time. But we are a unique breed. we have ingenuity. We are spiritual. We can sing. We can make music. We are artists. We can make love. We can do all of these things. And it's a species out here that hates us. Number one, what am I saying all that for? I'm saying human beings, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. I don't think we have enough self-love to look and say, oh, we are a marvelous creature. You know, that Bible said that too. See, we heard that before. We are marvelous creatures. Fabulously made, it said. And yes, we are. But we let some off-world mother suckers come in here at some time and manipulate us. And they've been here for centuries and centuries and centuries. They done been here so long that we can't tell who they are and where they are. We can't even see their tactics no more. And you know how they was able to do that? They first worked on our ego. That's the way it's seen. God, highest form of creation. And it said, highest form of creation. Ain't that something? Now that's religious texts and stuff. But don't y'all feel special? Don't you feel like something that held you down? That it's kept you from being your best self? Now I know I ain't the only one that's been had this experience. I know I ain't. I know I ain't. Anyway, what time is it? It's 12:44. I've been on here 3 hours and 17 minutes. I just cannot get it down. I try. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this chart because I got to end this. I'm going to try my hardest. So we're talking about the 11th house and how there are ways to ensure economic growth. And the 3 ways is accumulation of capital stock and an increased labor inputs such as workers and hours worked, which we know was declined and destroyed as of 2020. Work morale gone. Don't nobody want to go back to work because what, they was at home getting the unemployment with that extra $600 UIA with unemployment and the PP loans. People was able to live their best life for the first time in a long time. They were able to pacify their ego. And so why would you go back to work for some measly dollars after that? These people ain't trying to go back to work, and then the business is shut down. Because what? It was already playing, number one. But then there were other business, mom and pop businesses that got goddamn ran out of business, and they've been doing that since the last paradigm, because this is a process to something. We're in progression to somewhere, you know, for what? Humanity is we're progressing. So, the other way to ensure economic growth is to begin a new paradigm. This is what's going to happen. And introduce the technology advancements in the industries that do what? Cater to us, pacifying our physical worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. You need some clothes, you need some shoes, you need some water, some food, some wine, some beer, some whatever you need in this industry, because we're the captain in the industry. We got you. We're coming back up. We got you, but it's going to be under new terms, our terms. And those terms we're going to will guarantee us profit. Guarantee us bringing in the energy that we need. Okay. Now, let's see. Can I go on? Oh, no, I got to finish here. At this point, when I was studying a chart, it referred me to this. I didn't know it was a thing, y'all. It's a thing. It's called the Walmart effect. I'm going to read what I found out from the Oracle Google when I Googled following my line of thought. I found this thing. This Walmart effect is a thing. So I'm about to read what it said online. It's not my words, it's somebody else's words. It says, is a term used to refer to the economic impact felt by local businesses when a large company like Walmart or WMT, the stock ticker, you know, the tick, 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 tick on the stock market. Stop. All right, mother suckers, y'all. They're going to mess up my stuff. Y'all mad at me. I don't own y'all tail. Oh, it's messing up real bad. have my camera back? How y'all just gonna take my camera? Can y'all see me? My camera on this side that went out. Can I? Why is it not? Oh, okay. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna click here. I'm trying to get done. I'm almost done. Here, look, y'all. My camera start working. I'm about to see if I can get it start working because I don't want to start a new video on the last little thing. Y'all shouldn't have let me, YouTube or whoever, Google, y'all shouldn't have let me say what I said because I said it already. It's over. I only got one more house to go through. And then just maybe 5 more minutes of a rant. Let me finish with this video, please. I greatly appreciate y'all. Let's see. Can I refresh my camera? Let's see. Any way to refresh? What's going to happen? Dirty mother suckers. Dirty mother suckers. Use low power mode. Why do I have to do that? Okay. I ain't got no problem with y'all. Hold on, wait a minute. Dirty mother suckers. Dirty. Dirty. Let's take a coffee break. Let's get you something cold to drink or warm to drink while I reset my camera. And let me see if they let me back on here. Or is it going to just keep spooling? I know I'm long-winded and I have done 3 hours and 23 minutes. Oh, talking. They don't want me to tell this last stuff. It must be some real good stuff in this last house. Oh, they just don't want me to have my camera at all. Dirty mother suckers. How they control my camera? They always control my world. Dirty mother suckers. Why is my camera not working? Okay. Uh-oh, something happened. Dirty mother suckers. Alright, delete that again. I'm about to unplug my camera and plug it back up. You dirty mother. I'm still here, y'all. I'm a blow in it like it used to do with the Atari. And I'll plug it back up. I'm going to wait for a minute. I'm about to go empty my ashtray. I ain't got nothing to do tonight. I done drunk everything I could drink. I done smoked. I ain't smoked now. Yeah, I smoked my cigarettes. And I done popped every edible I'm going to pop, which was that one. Whew. And now I'm ready to get busy. So you dirty mother, come up off my stuff. Let's see. Device unavailable. You dirty low-life mother suckers. How can it not be available? Oh my God, no they didn't. How is it not available? I plugged it in. Dirty mother. there ain't no other one. Okay. 30 suckers. Something to me. All my life. All my life. People don't believe that when people talk about the hidden hand. Okay, I'm about to try this camera again. If the camera doesn't work, excuse me, I'm going to just finish. Yeah, gotta be. Oh, it's not even showing that it's available. Isn't that something? All right. Who gives a damn? Device. Check if the device is connected properly and not in use by another application. Make sure the source properties are closed. Source properties. Source properties. Oh, okay. All right, how about that? How about that? All right, how about that? All right. Having all kind of technical difficulties now. I'm happy I didn't add any slides or anything to this. Let's see. One more try. Nope. Is there a way? Oh, can't find a way now. Dirty mother suckers, but that's okay. Talk to me, baby. Come on. Anyway, it won't let me. Let me look at. I want to look at. You glitched a few times before it went out. Ooh, they get on my nerves. Dirty. Dirty. I want to come here and see what y'all seeing. Y'all seeing what I'm seeing, so y'all seeing what I'm seeing. Okay. Well, I'm going to continue with while that's over there. See what happens with that. What does it say? What's here? Input, system sound. As the camera here. Standard use configuration, normal. Okay. That's how they feel today. And I feel like, alright, whatever. Okay, right here. I can still use that. Is it moving? Delayed? Quite a bit. They got my video delayed a lot. A whole lot. Okay. So I'm about to finish this up. You won't see my beautiful face. And all of my gestures that, Oh, Jesus Christ. But I'm about to finish, y'all. I feel like I'll be done in less than 30 minutes. Less than 30 minutes. They won't even let me do anything else, huh? But as long as y'all can hear me. Hopefully I'm not screaming at you. So anyway, we know that 1,000 years ago or so that they had already foreseen them losing energy or resources, whatever they were seeking, the profit. And their profit is draining our energy, consuming our energy. That's their profit. And so they had this bailout period or time, the breakout time. And, I was talking about the Walmart effect. The Walmart effect. Walmart effect. So the Walmart effect is a real thing. And it says that it is a term used to refer to the economic impact felt by local businesses when a large company like Walmart opens a location in an area. The Walmart effect usually manifests itself by forcing smaller retail firms out of business and reducing wages for competitors' employees. And I got that from Investopedia. I'm right here, y'all. I mess around in the background trying to find an image. It's suspect to me what's occurring. Suspect. Suspect. Can't do that like that. That's overlapping. Okay. It's overlapping. I want it to overlap. Okay. So I just put that there so y'all can see me while I finish this up. Oh, okay. So I want to talk a little bit about the Walmart effect. The Walmart effect started many, many years ago during previous paradigms or time periods in the history of humanity. And that's when big corporations were developed, and they came in and they bought out or ran out all the mom and pop stores. This is where we were able to own our businesses and provide for our own communities and our own families and keep it within the community. And what the big corporations came out with really, I guess, underpricing the mom and pop stores. Why? Because they could buy in bigger bulk amounts and therefore sell it at lower rates. And we fell for it. This is the manipulation that has been taking place for generations. And so they ran all the mom and pop stores out, old paradigms, and the mom and pop stores don't exist. Now we have small businesses that would just got ran out. They got ran out. Doing what since the 2020 at least we know the smaller businesses got ran out, and the big corporations are the ones that's still standing, such as Walmart, Myers. We have Amazon that's are distributing the various resources that we feel like that we presume that we need to pacify our physical worldly wants, needs, urges, and desires. Whether it's clothes, cars, makeup, shoes, water, food, wine, beer, whatever. There's even a dark web out here. You might be able to get you some. I ain't going to say it. I'm going to leave it alone. Anyway. These corporations are also synonymous with outsourcing work. So it moved employment opportunities to other locations, especially other locations in the world, increasing unemployment and things like that. So this is the Walmart effect. Now, keeping that in mind, the Walmart effect, about how big corporations run out little independent businesses. Again, I ain't in economics and I ain't in business, so I don't know the language and the terminology that goes with neither field. I'm just trying to speak to you from the level that I know. Okay. So keep in mind now, the corporations own everything. They have privatized every single industry. And these are industries that distribute, refine, package, and distribute the resources that you presume that you need. Some that you presume, and some that are required for you to sustain your life as a human being on this planet. Especially, that's like saying you need food, you need water. That's requirements. And other things we just presume that we need. We need those diamond rings or those fly shoes or that car. Anyway, these are the industries that they are now monopolizing. I remember doing my astrological readings just prior to 2020 and 2019, and it talked about and referred to the game Monopoly, monopolizing the industries, which is, of course, privatizing them, putting these industries in the hands of private owners, and their primary goal is to make a profit for themselves as well as their shareholders and investors. Okay? And so now they're in control of everything. They can do as they will. And right now, they're willing to shut down and not make sure that you get what you are required to have in order to sustain your life as a human being. They're also willing to not distribute to you anything else that you presume that you need in order to address your quality of life concerns. They don't care if you want a new car or a new house or some new shoes They don't even care if you want a job so that you can work to earn the money to buy the resources that you presume that you need. This is the Walmart effect on steroids. Let me say that differently. The Walmart effect talks about when a corporation runs out the small business, the individual business owners. Now that is done, there's no more competition. They got rid of the competition. From being, how can I say? They got rid of the competition. So now it's just a corporation and a consumer. So the corporation can do what it wants because it doesn't have any competitors. It has no obstacles in its way. So now the corporations can show you their real intent. And their real intent is to not feed you and to not house you. But this whole experience that we're having and about to truly fully have, which is being separated from the resources, would not happen had we not allowed the powers to run us out of owning our own businesses. It goes deeper. It would not happen if we did not allow the powers to manipulate us into coming to selling our land or taking our land and manipulating us from not having our own homes, farms, gardens, lands, our own trades. When I say trades, I'm talking about you might trade in lumber. You might do trading in, I don't know, glass work, trades in painting, trades in plumbing, trades in masonry, trades. They ran us out of all of it. I talked about how they annihilated or got rid of trades in exchange for the educational system. The educational system is the pathway to see if you will be beneficial to the system and ultimately those powers. Had they continued, I always wonder when my kids was coming up, why only a few people can go to trade school, like culinary arts and auto mechanics. Well, it was because that was counterproductive to the plans that the powers had. If every child that came up in school, public school, in my location, Detroit Public School, had access to learn a trade, masonry, automotives, doing pipes with the plumbing, heating and plumbing, do you know they will all have a way right now to earn the money that they need to take care of them and their families? There wouldn't be a need for this extent of welfare that has been needed. Do you know that all of these bad kids that are talked about committing all these crimes wouldn't be out committing the crime because they would have purpose? See the trick of the powers. Those off-world, highly intelligent, extraterrestrial beings, what they've done to humanity. And I talk mostly about my people and my location because that's what I know. I know it very well. But this type of manipulation has happened across the board in all races. That's what we should be aware of and begin to see the bigger picture. So anyway, where the magnifying glass is, talks about the plan, the escape from out of the old paradigm in business into the new paradigm, which ushers in the technological advances in any given industry. It also points to the Walmart effect of when the corporations run out small businesses. And then once the corporations have the power, they can do what they will. And what they will do this time is repudiation. They're breaching their contract And the contract is about what? It's about they have an obligation to humanity, to sustaining humanity. And I'm going to go into detail with that in the 12th house. So, what is this 12th house about? And I'm going to end this live stream after I cover the 12th house. I do apologize that I can't see you. Something suspicious has happened to my camera. So I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to finish with the 12th house and then end this live stream. Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More, and allowing me, Nancy, to share my disturbing findings that I found in the astrological message for April, or one of the astrological messages for April 2023. This 12th house, the alignment here, talks about a necessary revision. What is the necessary revision? The necessary revision is how to do business, or converting business from an old paradigm into new paradigm, conducting business under the criteria of the new paradigm. It is where they say they have to ensure that they get this profit, or the ciphering of energy from humanity. In order to do so, this is a necessary revision. They use their formulas to prophesy or to foresee 1,000 years later what would happen. And what they found was loss. A loss or an insignificant return on their investments. And so they found that these companies would not be profitable enough to them during this time. Their existence and their purpose for existing and conducting business in this plane, on this planet, is not to help take care of humanity. It is to cipher off our energy. It is to pull the profit. And the profit is our energy. They have hoarded all the natural resources in order to do so. And so, this 12th house just talks about, remember, this is 1,000 years ago that this was set. They sat around this table, this forum of extraterrestrials or whoever they are, and they say, hey, with all that we know about this time period, it is necessary for our business plan to be revised. We cannot and we will not move forward anymore with business done under the way the old paradigm had it. We won't do it. It's not bringing enough profit in. And so at this point in time, the revision includes us stopping the old structure, the old paradigm in business and economics. We know there are going to be casualties of this silent war. There's going to be casualties. There are going to be people that lose everything. Businesses, just the everyday person going to lose business. They're going to be unemployed. We know the casualties of war. Here's another part of this 12th house. It's their acknowledgement. Let me read what I got here. Acknowledgement of the economic stability of the incumbent on the existence of this industry or business. So let me try to put that in words. I was having a hard time putting that in words there. So imagine these extraterrestrials sitting around having their meeting with all their shareholders and investors. Think big now. Think like gods. And they saying, okay, humanity can't exist without us at this point. That's what they're saying in this square, in this triangle right here, this house. Humanity cannot exist without us by this point in time. And so we know we have an obligation to make sure they get the resources that they need to keep them going. We understand that we have monopolized everything. And so it is we're obligated as an intelligent life form that can and has manipulated them. They don't know no better. We have to stabilize, meaning bringing the markets back up. We have to revitalize the economy. We have to. Because if we don't, these people will die. This species will die. And we can't let that happen. We have to get them through the transition from human into an artificial species. Or their species has to evolve into whatever we're going to evolve in, which seems to be what? Cyborg kind of people. So they're saying, we know this, that we have to, again, reinstate these industries. After we revise them, we got to do it. And we know that we have to do it so that we can get the resources flowing to the species. Otherwise, they would cease to exist. So they're acknowledging their critical or vital position in our existence. Am I saying that right? I don't know if I'm saying it right. They know that. They know that they have to. And so they talk about that in this 12th house. And the last thing, I think that's the last thing it talks about in the 12th house, is they promise to stabilize the industry or the economy, which I was just saying. But it will definitely be profitable to them. Oh, I wish I could come on camera right now. The whole thing is they're going to reinstate or revitalize the industries, the corporations, the businesses, all the things that we tap into in order to acquire that which we need, feel like we need. They're going to do it. It's mandatory. It's necessary. Otherwise, we would cease to exist. We would just implode. And they know that. We've been manipulated to be that way. And they know that they are the only source that can do that, to restore order, so to say. They're the only ones that can. However, when they do restore order or business, as it will be conducted in a new paradigm, it will guarantee, remember we looking at projection models, it will guarantee that they receive a profit. And remember, the profit for them, some say, is our vital life force energy. They will get our energy. And how will they siphon our energy? It is through the technological advancements that will, perpetuate the existence of the industries that we depend upon to sustain our lives. Because what? We're human. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to y'all? So this whole chart is about the economy. The whole thing. And the disturbing thing, I repeat, the disturbing thing is that this was written thousands of years ago. If this species or this group of entities or whatever they are of higher intelligence had what is the term? If the species cared about humanity, if they had our best interests at heart, at hand, what is it, heart or hand? If they had that, then thousands of years ago, they could have changed the whole trajectory in order to benefit humanity. But they did not. They have kept manipulating the various situations and circumstances and the environment in which humans live, in order to ensure that the trajectory lands at a place where they're able to cipher pure profit, our vital life force energy. Think about it. What trends now is about transhumanism. Ride this wave with me, if you will. If the powers have their way with humanity, it seems like they do want us to get to this place where our consciousness, human consciousness, is embedded in a mechanical biosuit. Because our physical vessels are fragile, they're needy, they have requirements to exist. But once these powers eliminate those necessities, such as food, eliminate our need for such things as food, water, a rest, because we're in a biomechanical suit, then they have just our essence. And that's the thing I'm talking about. As a human being, we have something so unique, that essence, that spark of life that's within us, and we're able to hear, see, taste, smell, interface, and interact with this realm and with each other. That is a unique energy. Whatever that spark is what they're after. And that's what they seem like they plan on harvesting. That seems like their end game. Anywho, thank you once again for coming here to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and More, and allowing me, Nancy, to share my one of my findings for April 2023, for the month of April in the year of 2023. Until next time, fabulous folks. Bye.